welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
The Miami Dolphins. Gone is the image of a freewheeling offensive machine. This season, the Dolphins' defense has turned into a Miami Vice. They've allowed the fewest points in the league. They rank second in the NFL in yards allowed. They've registered 13 sacks and forced 8 turnovers. Today, Miami's Vice looks to clamp down on their AFC East rival, the New York Jets. If they can, they'll remain among the elite, the NFL's unbeaten. On a cool and cloudy day, welcome to the Meadowlands for this matchup. Intense rivalry between two big-time teams in the AFC East, the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets. And welcome to East Rutherford, New Jersey, everyone. Along with Phil Simms, I'm Greg Gumbel. These Miami Dolphins and these New York Jets do indeed have a good rivalry. 64 times they've met in the past. Miami has won 34. The Jets have won 29, and they've tied once. Miami comes into this game at 3-0, Phil, riding the second-best defense in the NFL and a running game.
Wow, a running game. Jimmy Johnson's been talking about it for 3 years in Miami. They finally have gotten it. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the running back, really runs up inside hard, and the big thing for the Miami offensive team is the offensive line is opening up some big holes up front for him. The New York Jets want to stop that running game, and they want to see Dan Marino. Yes, Greg, that's right. They want to see Dan Marino try to beat him today by throwing the football down the field. The weak spot of this Miami team, in my opinion, by far, is the wide receiver position.
All right, meanwhile, the New York Jets lost their first 2 games of this season, came charging back to beat the Indianapolis Colts behind a big game performance by Vinny Testaverde.
Vinny Testaverde gets the start today because he's healthy. You got to be a healthy quarterback to play against Miami because that defensive front is going to hit you a few times. But also, Miami's defense has not seen passes down the field. Vinny Testaverde with the big arm can test them out, throw it down the field, and see if this defense for Miami is for real.
Well, as John Hall gets set to kick the ball away for the Jets to the Miami Dolphins, we will tell you that it has now begun to rain lightly here at the Meadowlands. Deep for the Dolphins, number 20, John Avery, number 31, Brock Marion. And the fans looking for a second consecutive win by the New York Jets. Both these teams coming off the bye week. Miami with victories over Indianapolis, Buffalo, and a 21-0 shutout of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the Jets, an overtime loser to San Francisco, and then a loss to Baltimore, and then a win over Indianapolis. And we're set to get underway. Just at the goal line is John Avery. Across the 20, hit at about the 23-yard line. And Dan Marino in his 16th season out of Pitt. And here is the offense that he will lead onto the field for the Miami Dolphins. His offensive line, a good one. Webb, Dixon, Ruddy, Kevin Donnelly, and James Brown at right tackle. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Stanley Pritchett in the backfield. O.J. McDuffie starts at wide receiver despite the bone spurs in the ankle. Light rain falling. And Marino going to throw on first down. Incomplete. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar out of the backfield. Here's a quick check of the New York Jet defense. Starting here this afternoon, up front, Lyle, Ferguson, Logan, and Anthony Pleasant. The linebackers, Dwayne Gordon starts in place of injured James Farrier. And the corners, Glenn and Smith, Victor Green, strong safety, and the rookie Kevin Williams is the free safety.
Well, one concern today the New York Jets have about the Miami Dolphin offense, they're worried about, Bill Parcells told us on Saturday, he's worried about getting overpowered up front. So their main concern, dig in there and stop that running game.
Jabbar tries the left side. May have gotten 2 yards. Jason Ferguson with the stop.
Greg, we talked about it in the opening just for a second. I know it's like strange to hear, isn't it? That Bill Parcells, I mean, he has a hard time saying it too, that we wanted the Miami Dolphins to beat us throwing the football with Dan Marino. So much success against everybody, but especially against the Jets.
I have to admit, when you said it, I thought you'd lost your mind.
Well, a lot of people think that about me, but...
And that might not necessarily be wrong. 3rd and 8 from the 26. Marino has time, now loses time and goes down. Number 53, Chad Cascadden with the sack.
Well, that's it. Get this Miami Dolphin defense in a passing situation. They have a hard time getting open down the field. 98, Anthony Pleasant, is the one that really causes Dan Marino to move, and then Chaz Cascadden comes in, hustling, makes the sack.
Leon Johnson is deep for the Jets. Bounces at midfield, and he will let it roll out of bounds at the Jet 43.5-yard line. 40-yard punt and no return by Klaus Wilmsmeyer. And Vinny Testaverde, 4 touchdown passes his last time out 2 weeks ago against Indianapolis. And here is the offense that he will lead onto the field for the New York Jets. Jumbo Elliott, Berger, Mawai, Matt O'Dwyer, and Jason Fabini, the rookie, at right tackle. Curtis Martin and Keith Byers in the backfield. Keyshawn Johnson, Jedrick Ward starts in place of Wayne Corbett, and Kyle Brady, the tight end. But Wayne Corbett starts the action on the field to give us to Martin, and Martin right side. Across midfield and out of bounds at about the 48-yard line. Take a quick check of the Miami defense now. 2 big guys at defensive tackle and 2 very active defensive ends in Kenny Mixon and Jason Taylor. The linebackers in the middle. Talk about active. How about Zach Thomas? In the secondary, 2 very talkative corners in Terrell Buckley and Sam Madison. Calvin Jackson and Brock Marion are the safeties. Pickup of 6 on the play. It's 2nd and 4.
The New York Jet offense you're going to see today, they want to have a lot of movement. The Miami Dolphin defense has not seen an offense yet that moves players around.
Martin breaks free right side and pushed out of bounds just shy of the 35.
And a lot of people think when you're playing a defense, Miami's defense is very fast, that you got to go up inside, but you don't have to. The Jets, you saw Keith Byers coming across, blocks down inside, Curtis Martin going outside. That's what the Jets want to do today. Take the wide people, block inside, get it down in there, and then like Curtis Martin with his speed and the fact that he can always make that first guy miss. He can dodge him, get outside, and make those extra yards.
You see that 144-yard performance against the Colts. Curtis Martin still looking for his first touchdown of this season. First down from the 35 for the Jets. Testaverde to throw. Incomplete. Intended for number 84, Fred Baxter, the tight end.
This is a play the New York Jets started a couple years ago. Vinny Testaverde fakes the run. He goes to his right, and he turns and throws back across the field. But a good job by the Miami Dolphins defense. Brock Marion, number 31, stays in position, doesn't go for the fake, has Fred Baxter covered all the way.
2nd and 10 from the 35. Brady is in motion. The pitch is to Martin. Right side, tripped up. And a gain of about 2 yards. And Kenny Mixon, the man who tripped him up.
You could see that time what the Jets are going to do. Again, go outside. They put 2 receivers. They put Kyle Brady in motion. And if Kenny Mixon doesn't get Curtis Martin by the foot, it's going to be about a 10-yard pickup. So again, get those fast guys sealed down inside and try to run outside.
The guy that Jimmy Johnson and the Dolphins would like to give free rein on that front line to is Jason Taylor, number 99.
Well, what he really wants to do is to have Zach Thomas, Derek Rogers, his linebackers running free. That's the key to his defense.
3rd and 9 out of the shotgun. shotgun. Quick pass over the middle, and Testaverde was looking to get rid of it more than anything else.
Well, it looked a little funny that time. Vinny Testaverde, it looks like the offense didn't have the same snap count, so he gets it. It was a blitz by Miami. I think he did the smart thing, throw it away because he thought something bad was going to happen.
So on 4th down, punter Brian Hansen comes in for the Jets.
Pretty conservative move by the New York Jets and Bill Parcells. This would be about a 51-yard field goal. A little breeze behind him. He elects to kick it down inside and pin the Miami Dolphins back.
Charles Jordan is back deep. And he'll fair catch it at the 7-yard line. So that's where the Miami Dolphins will go to work when we come back to the Meadowlands. 11:29 to play here in the first quarter of a scoreless game. We invite you to get ready for an episode of new challenges, new life, and new hope. An hour of TV that should not be missed. Chicago Hope, an all-new episode Wednesday on CBS. Phil, are you one of those guys that says Chicago or Chicago?
Chicago.
You're wrong.
Oh,
it's Chicago.
Oh, there's it.
But I'd let you know, first down for Miami from the 7.
Thanks for the education. I didn't get enough of it.
Marino with the handoff. And a pickup of 3 on a day that it has now stopped raining. But let's check in on the condition of the field. Our guy downstairs is Armen Keteyian. Armen.
Hey, Greg, last night it rained here, and following a Major League Soccer game, I talked to the stadium operations manager. This field was not covered, and it left it slick. To combat that, the teams have made some changes. They've gone to a different set of shoes. The one on the right is what you would wear on a dry turf, these square nodules. The one on the left have these cylindrical nodules that are better for traction. It's not raining right now. About 95 or 85% of the Jets have these new wet shoes. About 70% of the Dolphins. We'll see how they hold up as the game goes on. Back to you.
All right, Armen, thank you. Dolphins keep it on the ground, and again, Abdul-Jabbar with a pickup of about 3 more, Phil.
What's a nodule? You know, Armen,
I'm still working on cylindrical. Armen, meanwhile, is barefoot.
Yeah.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar comes off the field as the Dolphins look at a 3rd and 3.
Something has happened to Dan Marino. The communicating system they have in the helmet, he cannot get it from the sideline to play. So now this time, last time, they ran the play in. So I hope they got a hand signal backup system ready because it looks like they might need it.
Marino works out of the shotgun from his own 14-yard line. Near side, incomplete. Jets are hoping for a fumble, but it's incomplete. And Klaus Wilmsmeyer will come onto the field to kick it away.
Well, that kind of tells you, I know the Miami Dolphins are backed up, but that says a lot about their passing game. In days past, if you blitz Dan Marino in this Miami Dolphin offense, down the field, let's make a big play, make something happen. That time they had a little screen set to the wide receiver, just hoping to pick up the first down.
Jets looking to get a little pressure on Wilmsmeyer and give Leon Johnson some return room. Nice kick by Wilmsmeyer. Backs Johnson up to his 36. He leads the tackle. He's bounced back across his 45-yard line. 50-yard kick, 9-yard return. The tackle made by Robert Jones. 9:47 to play, first quarter, when we come back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Air, Acura, and by Fram Filters.
Greg Gumbel, Phil Simms, Armen Keteyian at the Meadowlands. Dan Marino on the sideline. Meanwhile, the Jets put it into play, 1st and 10 from their own 45. And Vinny Testaverde on his second offensive series. Keyshawn Johnson in motion with the pitches to Curtis Martin. Again, goes around the right side and may have picked up a yard on the play. Let's go back to Dan Marino and the communications problems he was having, and they're working on that on the sideline.
Well, they are, and if they can't get it fixed and Dan Marino cannot get the communication from the sideline, from the coach, that means He can't do it, so the New York Jets would have to cut theirs off too. And to communicate with the quarterback, they'd have to use hand signals.
Your headset, however, will still remain active.
Good, good. You know, I would not have wanted that in my helmet when I played. Because, you know, you took enough from the coach. I didn't want to hear any more directions from the side.
Gives to Martin. Martin up the middle. And gains a couple. It'll be 3rd and long for the New York Jets. You know, you mentioned to me on the last series that the fact that the Jets kicked the ball down the field was a perfect indication of what Bill Parcells wanted to accomplish today.
Well, it tells you what he thinks of Miami's offense. If he was playing the Denver Broncos, let's say he had a 50-yard field goal early in the game, he's going to go for it. But today against Miami, he says their offense is struggling. Let's punt it down in there. We can stop them, get it back in good field position, get another chance to get the first downs and score a touchdown, hopefully.
3rd and 8. Prevent in motion. Testaverde with time, and now delivers incomplete, intended out of the backfield for Leon Johnson.
Vinny Testaverde, good protection by the offensive line. He goes back, he looks to his left. Watch Keyshawn Johnson, his primary receiver against Sam Madison. Gets down the field. You can see the trip. Their feet collided, knocks him down. Vinny Testaverde has nowhere to go.
There's also a handful of jersey there in Mr. Madison's hand.
That is a duel today that there's going to be a lot of talking going on. Both of them like to talk on the field, so see who wins the battle.
Booming punt. And into the end zone. Brian Hansen, 53-yard punt, no return. Miami's ball in a defensive battle with 8:20 to play in the first quarter. Well, tomorrow on CBS, catch the hot new Monday night lineup, starting with Cosby. Then it's the new hit comedy critics and audiences are raving about, King of Queens, with Kevin James and Jerry Stiller. Then it's Monday night's #1 comedy, Everybody Loves Raymond, followed by the hilarious Brian Benben Show and the new hit drama, LA Doctors. That's all tomorrow, right here on CBS. First down, Miami. The Dolphins at their own 20-yard line. The handoff. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Pickup of a couple. Time for our first check-in of the day at our NFL Today studios. And Jim Nance.
All right, Dragonsville, check it out. The old swinging gate play coming up. Direct snap to Ken Dilger on a 2-point conversion here for the Colts. It followed a Peyton Manning touchdown pass. The Colts lead 8-0 in the Rookie Quarterback Bowl. Let's go back to the Meadowlands.
All right, Jim. How many times did you run the old swinging gate?
Ran it one time in college. It scored a touchdown about 70-some yards. Unfortunately, his old one was scored the whole day. But it worked.
You personally scored from 70-some yards out?
That was the one that fell down and got the ball and threw it back.
Marino to throw. Far side as his man. And brought down immediately on the play is Oronde Gadsden. After a pickup of about 4 yards, Aaron Glenn right on his back.
Well, Aaron Glenn makes a good tackle that time. A blitz by the New York Jets. And you always got to remember, if you're going to blitz on defense, here comes Otis Smith off the corner, number 45, unblocked. Dan Marino sees it. He throws it out there. But Aaron Glenn, if he misses his tackle, there's nobody behind to help him out. So that's what you got to make sure you do. Bring the receiver down.
Lamar Thomas in as another wide receiver, and Bernie Parmalee is in the backfield with Marino, who will throw out of the shotgun. Complete and close to a first down is Ed Perry. Our referee today, incidentally, is Ed Hockley.
I asked Dan Marino yesterday, I was asking about this New York Jets defense, and he goes, boy, they do a lot of things. They move around, they give you a lot of looks, a lot of different personnel. And I said, so what's that tell you? And I said, and he goes, well, they're camouflaging. I said, they're camouflaging the fact they don't have a lot of good players, so they're trying to find something that works, trying to confuse you to take advantage of certain situations. And that's what we've seen so far. A lot of looks by their defense, making Miami throw the ball short.
First down. Marino with time. Over the middle. In and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Abdul-Jabbar, out of the backfield. And it's incomplete. Incidentally, communication in Marino's helmet seems to be back to normal now.
Well, Dan Marino looks down the field to his right. Good protection again. The Miami Dolphins don't send everybody out like they used to. So Dan Marino has a little extra time to throw the football. But the big problem is nobody's getting open down the field, really. That time, the Jets all over. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar make the hit. Actually had him double covered.
Dwayne Gordon with the big hit as you take a look at the total yardage so far today. 2nd and 10. Abdul-Jabbar. A little bit of an opening on the right side. Busts his way up to the 35 for a pickup of about 5 on the play. Kevin Williams, the rookie, coming up from the safety position to make the tackle.
Well, there's no mystery anymore about the Miami Dolphins offense. 3 games. You're the Jets. You've watched all 3 games. They just line up. The play you just saw, that's how they've been doing the first 3 games. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar just flying up in there, and you can see Dan Marino. He is upset.
Dan Marino appears now that he can't hear again.
Well, it went out again.
Thomas came out onto the field and gave him the play.
They fixed it on the sideline. It gets back in. It doesn't work. Throws the rhythm of the quarterback off. The play calling. Take the timeout.
Dan Marino will not be a happy camper as he comes to the sideline. He'll say, can I get a new radio in this helmet here?
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Honda and by Unisys.
We welcome you back to the Meadowlands. We don't know what Dan Marino's hearing in his helmet. He might be getting landing frequencies from Newark Airport.
Well, what he should be doing is going, oh, yeah, I got it, and throw some passes. And he goes to the sideline. They say, no, it was runs. He goes, oh, okay.
He's looking at 3rd and 4 from the 36. Time to throw over the middle. Incomplete and almost intercepted by number 45, Otis Smith.
Otis Smith, he is a defensive back. Bill Parcells said, of all the defensive backs I've coached over the years, this guy gets his hands on more footballs than anybody. That time sees the route, easy route for him to cover. Going across the middle, he's in a lot better position to catch the football than Gadsden is.
Leon Johnson deep for the Jets. Wilmsmeyer gets this one end over end, not a very good kick. Bounces shy of the 30-yard line and now across the 30 and down across the 25. So it turns out to be a pretty good punt by Wilmsmeyer. 42 yards in all. We have 5:11 to play. Who's going to draw first blood?
Greg, you were talking about Dan Marino hearing landing signals in his ears. The fact is he's not hearing anything. There's a problem called the repeater. He's not getting the play repeated into his helmet. Back to you.
It was just a guess, Armen. I wasn't really serious about that. First down from the 24. Thanks, Armen. Vinny Testaverde going to throw on first down. Has Wayne Corbett up close to the 30-yard line. That'll be about a 5-yard pickup. And the clock continues to run toward 5 minutes. There's a guy the Jets are happy to see back in the lineup.
Well, they are. A couple weeks ago against the Indianapolis Colts, he twisted his ankle, actually jumping over the sideline markers. This time, they a lot of motion going up the field. Wayne Corbett finds that open little spot. Vinny Testaverde throws it in there, but they were worried about his ankle being ready. So Coach Parcells gave him the doctor test. He walked up to him behind him one day and kicked him in the ankle to see if it was okay.
Jets go back to the ground and Curtis Martin, and we have our first penalty marker of the day.
But you know, that is true. Wayne Corbett's ankle's all swollen. Doesn't know if he's going to make it. After about 4 days after the injury.
Be a holding call against the Jets.
They're out on practice field. Corbett's got his ankle all wrapped up. You can see it's really braced up today and taped pretty heavily.
Holding, offense number 70, 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
So Bill sneaks up behind him, which is hard to do when you're Bill Parcells. You know, he sneaks up behind him, and Wayne Corbett is standing there, and he kicks him in his bad ankle. And Corbett, of course, goes, whoa, you know,
what are you doing?
Yeah, and he goes, I just wanted to see if it was okay. And he says it was until you kicked me.
Yeah, Wayne said, you know, if you were perfectly healthy and somebody kicks you in your ankle,
it's going to hurt. That's right. But he did a good job fighting through it, getting ready this week, and really had a good week of practice, Wayne Corbett. That's the reason why he came out here today and started.
The holding call on Matt O'Dwyer bats the Jets to their 20, where they're looking at 2nd and 14. Corbett in motion. Testaverde slips, picks himself up, falls, and over the middle, complete to Keyshawn Johnson. No, now they rule it incomplete.
Well, a lot of good things happened on that play for the New York Jets. First off, the Miami Dolphins, they blitz. Look at the people coming up inside. Zach Thomas, Robert Jones, Vinny Testaverde slips, but he gets up, finds Keyshawn Johnson open down the field, and Keyshawn Johnson just drops a very catchable ball right into his stomach. He knew he was going to get hit by Brock Marion.
Testaverde now 1 of 5 for 6 yards, and Leon Johnson is onto the field for the Jets now at 3rd and 14. Testaverde going to roll it to the right, all kinds of time, throws long downfield for Johnson, incomplete.
Good idea by Vinny Testaverde. What he should have done is if he had just pulled up and just thrown it high and in the air across the field, his guy had the defense beat. But thinking like you should, I guess, as a quarterback, when you move out of the pocket, somebody's got to be right behind me getting ready to hit me. So he throws the ball on the run. Can't quite get it out there.
Charles Jordan deep for the Miami Dolphins. And Brian Hansen gets it away. This one will sail out of bounds across midfield, and that'll stop the clock with 3 minutes 58 seconds to play here in the first quarter. We'll remind you, coming up at halftime, we'll be going back to our New York studio for the NASDAQ halftime report. Jim, Marcus, Brent, and George getting you caught up on all the action from this 5th weekend of the 98 NFL season, and a look at what's so special about kick and punt returns this season. That's all coming up, Phil, on the NASDAQ halftime report.
Hey, did you see the guys today in the pregame show? They had their jackets off, demonstrating things. You see that?
I saw that.
I just got one critique. Either get tighter shirts or start working out more. You know, shirts look a little baggy to me. You know, you gotta fill them out somehow.
You're just throwing the bait out there and seeing what you're reeling, right?
That's right.
First down for Miami from their own 38-yard line. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They'll make it John Avery, the rookie, breaks it just to the right side. Across the 45 and out to about the 47. John Avery, the first-round draft pick of the Dolphins out of Mississippi.
Good job of running by John Avery, but really it's a good job up front by the offensive line. I know that it looks like there's nothing to the left as he runs up in there, but look, no Jet can get off their block to make the tackle. That's the key. The Miami offensive line stays into the defensive line of the New York Jets. Nobody gets their hands free. They cannot make the tackle on John Avery.
Avery with a 9-yard pickup, and it's 2nd and 1 for Marino and the Dolphins from their own 47. They'll keep it on the ground. Avery again, first down yardage across midfield.
What usually happens when a team has a good running attack and the other team is worried about stopping it, as the game goes along, the defense starts to tire, they lose some of that enthusiasm, and all of a sudden those 4- and 5-yard runs become commonplace. And Greg, we talked about it. When I watched film on the Miami Dolphins, I literally could not believe it that they were just overpowering people up front. Because of all the years I played against them and watched them, I've never seen them do it.
Each team now has 1 first down here this afternoon. Marino, play action, time to throw, over the middle, has his man close to the 30-yard line. That's complete to O.J. McDuffie, and that's another first down, a pickup of 18 yards.
Well, 2 things come to my mind when I see that play. The play action fake gives Dan Marino, because of the running game, forever to throw the football. But also, you see, he has all that time, and nobody gets open quick because they have a hard time separating down the field. But finally, he finds the open receiver and throws it in there.
First down, Dolphins at the Jet 30-yard line. Abdul-Jabbar again into the backfield, replacing Avery. Let's see if Marino goes back to the ground game. He does. Left side, going to get him nothing. And a penalty marker flies. Mo Lewis, Anthony Pleasant in on the stop, and now let's check the marker. It's going to be against Miami. Yards have been tough to come by so far this afternoon. Jimmy says we don't need a negative number.
Holding, offense number 63. The penalty is declined.
That's Mark Dixon, the first-year man out of Virginia.
Well, what happens this time? The Jets stun a little on defense, and you're the left guard, Mark Dixon. Got him on Mark right there. They kind of go to the outside. All of a sudden, oh, no, Pepper shoots the gap on him. Pepper Johnson, good takedown, gets both hands on the arm, jerks him down. Easy for the head referee to see that.
2nd and 15 now from the 35 as we approach a minute and a half to play here in the first quarter. Marino out of the backfield is Stanley Pritchett. And Pritchett with the reception and a pickup of about 6 on the play. We keep talking about the Miami running game. This is an offense that's averaged 121 yards a game rushing. And in the Dan Marino era, that's been something different.
Well, hey, look, you're the coach of the Miami Dolphins. I'd have a hard time running the football, too, if I had Dan Marino as my quarterback during my career. Because you see him, you go, hey, he's pretty good. Let's throw the ball. So you got to throw it. So it's kind of tough to do both. And they've been a little heavy on the pass sometimes. That's kept them out of playoff games, I think.
3rd and 9. From the shotgun, Marino down the middle, incomplete. O.J. McDuffie had it in his hands and lost it.
Well, Marino's upset with the receivers. I thought he was. Maybe he's upset at the official because he knows his inside receiver, O.J. McDuffie, is getting held. Again, watch the protection he's getting from his offensive line. Looking down the field, he steps up, makes the throw inside. Hey, another good throw. You got to catch the ball. Here's O.J. McDuffie. Let's watch what happens. Well, it's just a little hit. No penalty on that play.
Olindo Mare from 37 yards out. Kick is up. 47 yards with the 10 in the end zone, and it's good. Talking with Mare on the field before the game, he said, you know, this field was a little wet and a little slick, and it made it a little slippery where you plant your foot. So what he said, well, you know, I have this other shoe which would be pretty good. It has longer cleats on it, but it's ugly.
Hey, you know, you got to look good first. That's right. Okay.
So Mare and the Dolphins with a 3-0 lead, and we'll take this opportunity to tell you, follow all your favorite NFL teams with CBS Sportsline. Get in-depth team notes and statistics and matchup breakdowns for every game on cbs.sportsline.com. Get that computer yet?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
I'll take that as a no.
No, I actually do have it.
Oh.
I just haven't turned it on to start typing. You know, I took typing in high school, but I forgot, you know, how to do it. You have to teach me.
Well, the man with 2 different shoes, Olindo Mare, will now kick off.
Well, a couple things you can, if you watch the first quarter of this game, the New York Jets get no pressure on the quarterback, Dan Marino, and no matter what situation your wide receivers are in, even though they've had trouble getting open, you give them long enough, which he's had in time to throw the ball, they are going to get open down the field.
Aaron Glenn, Leon Johnson deep for the Jets. This is Johnson at the 3. 25, penalty marker down as Johnson gets out of bounds close to the 40-yard line. Let's go back and look at the flag. And it's going to be against Miami.
Well, what that probably is, just guessing, hate to guess, somebody came down into the wedge and went low, below the knees of the blockers, which you're not allowed to do either.
I think Jimmy is saying, I saw him, and I don't think he did it.
Yeah.
I think Jimmy appears to be pleading a case for his man to have been knocked into.
During the return, personal foul, blocking below the waist by the kicking team number 30. 15-yard penalty after the end of the run, first down.
I believe fit to be tied would apply to Jimmy Johnson right now. And that's going to march the Jets across midfield and into Miami territory.
Well, something the New York Jets, which they love to do in a situation like this. Bill Parcells has always been noted for this. Once they get past the midfield mark, get down near the other team's 40-yard line, take a shot. See if you can score, get the ball down near the end zone in the first play.
One real good battle that's been going on field. Keyshawn Johnson and Miami cornerback Sam Madison. Testaverde, first down. Out of the backfield has Curtis Martin. Loses his footing, regains it, and is down close to the 40-yard line before he is brought down.
Well, he doesn't take the shot, but what he does is try to spread the defense out, which is what he wants to do with Miami. Undersized and fast, spread them across the field, trick them with a little screenplay, works for a couple yards.
As time winds down here in the first quarter, worthy of note, the Dolphins have not allowed any points whatsoever in the last 7 quarters. We've come to the end of the first quarter. The Miami Dolphins with a 3-0 lead on the New York Jets. We're coming right back in just a moment. A not so pleased Jimmy Johnson of the Dolphins as we begin the second quarter. Miami with a 3-0 lead. The Jets with the ball at the Miami 40-yard line on 2nd and 5. Curtis Martin straight ahead and getting close to first down yardage.
You know, one of the things the New York Jets wanted to do today, not let anybody get in the way of Curtis Martin. Watch Keith Byars come across the formation from the tight end position to be the lead blocker, trying to catch one of those defensive linemen off guard and make that block. Curtis Martin go back up inside, but you know, Coach Parcells says, you know, when we have a lead blocker, the traditional fullback, they just seem to get in the way of Curtis Martin. Let's give him more space so he can make people miss and pick up some big gains for us.
And now Vinny Testaverde walks away from the huddle and calls a timeout with the play clock down to 4. Each team has used a timeout here in the first half. 14-18 to play in the first quarter. 3-0 Miami. Oh, raising kids was a full-time job, so Ray and Deborah found the perfect babysitter. Now somebody's got to tell Grandma she's fired. An all-new episode of Monday night's #1 comedy, Everybody Loves Raymond, tomorrow at 9, 8 Central, right here on CBS. I see you smiling, Sims.
Can't fire your grandma.
1st and 10 for the Jets from the 35. Baxter is in motion. Testaverde under the gun, throws complete. Keith Byars out of the backfield across the 35 and down close to the 30-yard line. And that is a record-setting catch by Keith Byars. 588 career receptions. That is the most in NFL history by a running back, and it breaks the tie with.
Who did he pass?
It was Marcus Allen.
Marcus Allen. But a good job for the New York Jets. They fake it, trying to take advantage of the speed of the Miami Dolphin defense. Fake right, throw it back to the left, hope they've over pursued, but you can see even when the Dolphins are full, they get back and make the tackle.
The pitch, the near side. Curtis Martin breaks across the 25 and down to about the 23-yard line for an NFL Today report. Jim Nantz once again in New York. Jim. All right, I lied. Clock continues to run now with 13:05 to play here in the first half. And another first down for the Jets now at the Miami 22. Martin, right side. Tried to sneak inside the block of tight end Kyle Brady. Tim Bowens was there for the stop.
Well, it's kind of like a sneak attack what the Jets are trying to do in this running game. Kyle Brady goes to the left side, and all of a sudden he stops. Here he comes back to the right, trying to kick somebody out. But again, the defense not fooled. Good hustle. Derek Rogers gets in there and makes the tackle.
Pickup of 1 on the play. 2nd and 9 from the 21. See if Vinny Testaverde takes a shot at the end zone anytime soon around here.
Oh, now you're coaching, huh?
I know. Just wondering. Straight ahead with Martin. Almost broke clear. Down to about the 15-yard line. 6-yard gain on the play.
You know, Greg, a lot of people always ask, you know, you want to know the terminology and how do you come up with certain plays. Watch Keith Byars. He comes across then stops and goes back and blocks a defensive lineman. And I said to somebody, what do you call that play? And that's called the bong play. And I go, well, how do you come up with bong? And this is how it works. It's the back on the nose guard. Get that? B-O-N-G.
You guys are brilliant.
Yeah, we are.
That's brilliant.
See, it's not that complicated.
3rd and 3 for the Jets. Going to keep it on the ground. Martin, right side. Spins. And lunging for the first down. Curtis Martin, right side, is his favorite side this afternoon.
Well, it is, and you can really see what the Jets are trying to do. Go outside. It's hard to block. Tim Bowens and Daryl Gardner inside, but this time Curtis Martin just makes it happen. He's blocked at the line of scrimmage, does a good job spinning, picks up that extra yard, and gets the first down.
Curtis Martin now 10 carries for 49 yards this afternoon and a first down for the New York Jets. Martin again. This one goes nowhere. In fact, it'll lose yardage. Shane Burton led the charge for Miami.
Well, the New York Jets and Bill Parcells, they struggled running the first two games. Couldn't really get anything going with Curtis Martin. Then against the Indianapolis Colts, they run for over 300 yards, and they said that's the kind of running team we can be. Don't be misled. We know it's a lot of yards, but they really have high hopes for the offensive line. They're starting a rookie right tackle, Jason Fabini, Kevin Mawa, the center. They believe these are big-time run blockers, and their running game is going to be strong and consistent for the rest of the year.
You saw Zach Thomas on the sideline for this play, and Curtis Martin heading right up the middle, looking for the hole. And there's none there. Rodgers and Robert Jones making the stop. We said at the end of the first quarter that the Dolphins hadn't allowed a point in the last 7 quarters of play, and the Jets now trying to do something about that.
Well, you can see why. I mean, they're good. I mean, they really are. And Jimmy Johnson's been drafting these guys for 3 years. The Jets have come out with a lot of different looks, a lot of new plays, but it really hasn't fooled the Miami Dolphin defense.
Zach Thomas had his helmet back and couldn't get into the game in time. Testaverde for Keyshawn Johnson. Touchdown! Keyshawn has been working against Sam Madison all day long. This time he had Terrell Buckley and beat him.
Well, perfect throw by Vinny Testaverde. My question is, does he get complete possession of the football before he goes out of bounds? Looks like he did have it in the right hand. Touchdown.
Did appear there was a possibility he was getting jiggly with it as he went out of bounds.
Yeah, getting jiggly, all right.
Extra point is good. And a penalty marker now after, and a few fisticuffs starting to be thrown there.
Matt O'Dwyer and Jason Taylor.
Matt O'Dwyer threw Taylor to the ground after the play was over.
Well, Zach Thomas told us yesterday, anytime you see a fight, you can bet on it. Jason Taylor's going to be in the middle of it. One of the reasons why maybe is he's a good player, and guys got to feel like they got to take a little extra hit on him when they get those chances.
Well, the penalty is going to go against the New York Jets.
After the try was over, personal foul, number 70 of the kicking team. It's a 15-yard penalty enforced on the kickoff. The try was good.
Matt O'Dwyer draws his second penalty of the day. But the Jets are on the board. The extra point was good. Vinny Testaverde, 10-yard touchdown pass to Keyshawn Johnson. And it's a 7-3 New York lead.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by GMC Truck, Stanley, and by the U.S. Postal Service.
What may soothe the pain of the touchdown by the Jets for the Dolphins is the penalty, which has the Jets kicking from their own 15-yard line now, and Miami guaranteed some pretty decent field position. John Avery, Brock Marion are deep. This will be Avery from the 20. And met at the 30-yard line by number 47, Scott Frost, and a couple of other New York Jets.
Keyshawn Johnson has about 6 inches on Terrell Buckley. The Jets have been doing this the last few games. Use that height advantage, get the touchdown.
Next Saturday, NASDAQ College Football on CBS features regional matchups. In some areas, Tennessee's Jamal Lewis leads the Vols between the hedges to beat Champ Bailey and the Bulldogs, or it's a war between the state when Peter Warwick sparks Florida State against Edgerrin James and the Hurricane. It all starts with college football today. 9:21 to play in the first half. The New York Jets on top by virtue of a 10-yard touchdown pass to that man, Keteyian Johnson. 7-3 Jets, and the Dolphins go back to work. Marino, rollout, throws, right side, incomplete. And wanting the penalty flag is Lamar Thomas. He isn't getting it.
Well, the Miami Dolphins came in here today. We talked to Jimmy Johnson. They've had the week off, the bye week. The offense, you know, everybody's glad they're winning. You know, hey, you're 3-0, that's good. But the offense is dead last, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But the passing game has looked a little slow and lethargic. And he said, we're going to try to open it up a little today, but you can see, even when they try to, the receivers have a hard time getting open.
2nd and 10 from the 30. Marino for his man out of the backfield, and that one is going nowhere. Abdul-Jabbar on the reception, stopped by Victor Green, and we check in once again with Jim Nantz in New York.
All right, Greg and Phil, AFC East fans, take note. The Patriots had not committed a turnover coming into the day, but there have been 3 already. Bledsoe blindsided, and Keith Mitchell will scoop it up and race it back for a touchdown, and the Saints lead in the 2nd quarter. How about Mike Ditka and the Saints? Let's go back to the Meadowlands.
Loudest stadium I ever played in, the Superdome. You almost have to put your fingers in your ears because it yells so loud it can hurt your ears.
How about that man, Mike Ditka? Out of the shotgun, Marino. Under the gun, and down he goes. 2nd sack of the day on Marino. Anthony Pleasant is the man with the takedown.
Well, when you sack Dan Marino, you've done something exceptionally well. One, we know he has the quick release. He finds the open receiver and gets rid of it. But now Miami keeping guys in. Look at him. He's only got a couple receivers down the field. Nobody open. He tries to buy the extra time. Can't find anybody open to throw it to.
So on 4th and 21, once again, Leon Johnson back to receive at his own 35. Wilms-Myers' punt is high. Johnson, fair catch at the 48-yard line. Great field position for the Jets when we come back after the 32-yard kick. 8:07 to play, first half.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Staples and by First Junior.
Welcome back to the Meadowlands, and the New York Jets in some prime starting position with 8:07 to play in the first half. First down from their own 49-yard line, and Bill Parcells has to like the way things are going so far.
No, he doesn't. No, no. I mean, look at him. Look at him. I mean, come on, the guy is never happy. So, you know.
You would be the resident expert on that.
Yeah, you could lead 17-0. He'd be complaining about the field goal you kicked because you should have scored a touchdown at your fault. So, you know, you live with that as a player. We heard that from some of his players yesterday talking to him. Just be careful, stay out of his way, and don't be the guy that he picks on.
That's Byers in motion. Testaverde with the pitch to keep Curtis Martin on the left side. Turns the corner, first down yardage, and out of bounds at about the Miami 36-yard line. 14 yards on the play.
Well, you know, Greg, it goes against wisdom. A fast defense, but the Jets are going outside. They block down inside. Watch number 76, Jumbo Elliott, getting out in front of Curtis Martin. And if you're a defensive back and you see Jumbo Elliott, what are you going to do? You better run, get out of the way. But good job, good design, and Curtis Martin using his side. Jumbo gets enough of Sam Madison, keeps him out of the way and making the tackle.
That was a manhandling. Jumbo Elliott in his 11th season, 6'7", 308 pounds, out of Michigan. Testaverde, punt. And across the 35 to about the 34-yard line. Darrell Gardner, Brock Marion on the stop.
You know, the Miami Dolphin defense, it's geared for one thing: protect the linebackers. Linemen occupy the blocks. So Zach Thomas, 54, can run free. He's free that time, just does not make the tackle. You know, Jimmy Johnson says, I want my defensive linemen to occupy the offensive linemen, let my linebackers, who are the athletes and playmakers, let them run and make the tackles.
2nd and 8. Testaverde, straight drop. Time, throws, complete. Tight end Kyle Brady. And that's enough for a New York Jets first down. We check in once again with Jim Nantz in New York.
Well, the Patriots have come back, Greg. Ty Law with the interception sets this one up. A Bledsoe bullet to Vincent Brisby. And New England with 240 yards offense. The Saints only 24 yards. And it's a 3-point lead for the Pats. Let's go back to you.
All right, Jim, thanks. Jimmy Johnson, meanwhile, zeroes in on his defense, which now has 25 yards to cover between it and the goal line. First down. Jets. Testaverde to the air. For the end zone. Incomplete. Keyshawn Johnson, the intended receiver. Looks like he stumbled just a bit as he approached the goal line.
Yes, but I tell you, what a throw by Vinny Testaverde. Bill Parcells says this guy is classic. Drops back, throws perfect passes. You could see the contact with Keyshawn Johnson. Watch him outside. Number 19 gets inside of Sam Madison. A little trip. Calvin Jackson almost not deep enough to break up the play.
2nd and 10. Martin up the middle and doesn't get much before he is hit hard by Robert Jones.
Now, Greg, I'm up here. I'm trying to teach you a lot of football here. I'm trying,
listening.
you know, okay, so I just want you to tell me here. Here we go. The Jets, you've seen some of their plays. Second time around for a lot of them. The Miami Dolphins have seen them. Here they come. Here comes Keith Byars. He's going to do that. Now, what's that called? Watch him block. What's his play?
That's the bong.
That's the bomb. Here we go.
That's the bop one nose guard.
Yeah. It's one of those plays. If you're the offensive back, you hope you catch that defensive lineman by surprise.
Pickup of 1. It's now 3rd and 9. And a big play for the Jet offense here. Testaverde eludes one tackler, loses the football. Miami recovers. And there's a big defensive stand for the Dolphins. Shane Burton, number 75.
Well, you got to know if you're the quarterback and you hold the ball against this Miami Dolphin defense, especially with their pass rush. Once you step up into the pocket, watch Vinny Testaverde. It's a good job of protection by the Jet offensive line. He steps up. Jason Taylor gets away from Jumbo Elliott. Jumbo Elliott doesn't know that Vinny Testaverde has stepped up that far. That's why when you move up in the pocket, it's move up and throw. Really doesn't even have time to do that. Good hustle and good work by Jason Taylor.
Shane Burton with the fumble recovery. Meanwhile, boy, you look at turnovers under Jimmy Johnson has just skyrocketed. 96, 97, and here in 98.
Well, if you fumble the ball or throw interceptions for Jimmy Johnson, you won't be playing for Jimmy Johnson very long.
Abdul-Jabbar up close to the 30-yard line and a pickup of 2. Meanwhile, what do we talk about on that defense? The 2 guys in the middle are the big run stoppers and the stuffers. The guys on the outside, like Jason Taylor, are playmakers.
Well, yeah, they get all the glory. You know, Tim Bowens and Daryl Gardner got to get in there and take all the beatings and everything. So Zach Thomas, Jason Taylor, and all those people run around. But Jimmy Johnson knows the strength, and the key to his defense is those 2 big guys inside.
Gardner takes a breather on the sideline. 2nd and 9 from the 29. Going to keep it on the ground with Abdul-Jabbar. And there's not much there for him.
Well, that tells you something right there. Look who made the tackle. Victor Green. He's a defensive back up near the line of scrimmage. So a couple things. The Jets know they probably needed to stop the run, but also it tells you that they're just not that, they're not scared of the Miami passing game. Victor Green, a big hitter, does a good job in the secondary for the New York Jets.
The Jets have been doing a much better job defending the run today than they had in the first 3 games of the season. Clock moving, 4:10 to play. 3rd and 7 in Marino from the shotgun. Down the sideline, incomplete, intended for O.J. McDuffie. McDuffie wants a call against the defense. He's not going to find anyone who'll listen to him.
Well, it's just a tough way to play. And I think we could sense that frustration talking to Dan Marino yesterday. You know, when you do throw the ball, a lot of times it's obvious passing situations. It's tougher to get rid of it, but also the defense, they're there with the coverage. That time, nowhere for Dan Marino to throw the football.
False Wilmsmeyer to kick it away to Leon Johnson. High floating kick. Johnson at the 20. Dodges one tackler. Can barely get away from another before he's dragged down inside the 20. And Ed Hockley going to talk about the penalty. This is going to back the Jets up.
Well, blocking from behind, I mean, it's so obvious. And I know it's tough. I never played special teams, of course.
Is there a reason for that?
Well, lack of talent and speed for two of them, I guess. But, you know, we talked about this once, Greg. When you're on special teams.
Illegal block in the back. Receiving team number 42 during the kick. 10-yard penalty enforced from the end of the kick. New York keeps the ball, first down.
42 is Marcus Coleman.
Right. When you're on special teams, check it out right here. You're in wide open space. Push from behind, knocks the defender down. I mean, the officials, you're wide open. Look, there's nobody around. They can just see you. Easy to pick out. I guess what happens if you're on special teams, you think you're down there running. Hey, they don't see me, but they do.
Meanwhile, on the sideline, they are still working on Dan Marino's helmet.
Well, I think Dan's telling them, just cut it off. I'm going to call my own plays now. I don't like what you're sending in.
3:51 to play here in the first half. Testaverde, play action, throws, sideline. Wayne Corbett with the catch across the 20 to about the 22-yard line. That's a 12-yard pickup and a first down for the Jets.
Well, a good job. Good play action fake that time. It looked like one of those, watch the guards pulling around. Vinny Testaverde, plenty of time. Wet football, not the greatest conditions. Perfect throw to Wayne Corbett.
Meanwhile, there's Wayne Corbett Sr.
And he's listening to it on the radio. And Wayne Corbett told us yesterday, Junior that is my dad's the one with what, the two big buckets on his ears up in his pants.
Curtis Martin, left side, running room, 35, out of bounds. That's 15 yards.
Well, when you get 2 weeks off, you come up with something new. The New York Jets have found it. It's working against these Dolphins today. Wide receivers, look, go down inside, find somebody, seal it inside, let Curtis Martin with his speed get outside, and a good job by Wayne Corbett staying in the way of Sam Madison. You know, when you get that bye week and you get that extra week, you get a chance to come up with a few new wrinkles, and right now they're starting to show for the New York Jets.
First down from the 37. Reverse to Dedrick Ward, and Ward with another penalty marker down, and this looks like it's going to be against Miami as well.
Down the field, Kyle Brady and Robert Jones.
Something else you can work on with 2 weeks off.
Well, the quarterback can't. You can't work on that blocking. You just hope nobody sees a reverse.
It's like the face mask call against the Dolphins, and that'll march the Jets further downfield.
Personal foul, face mask by the defense, number 52. 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's linebacker Robert Jones. Meanwhile, we were talking so much about the Miami Dolphins running the football. The Jets have done a terrific job of running the ball today. And coming into this game, the Dolphins had not allowed a run of more than 15 yards. Jets have done that 3 times so far this afternoon.
Hey, you know, you have preseason. You think you can get all these things worked out in preseason, but you really can't. You got to wait till the season starts to kind of figure out what you're going to do. And I think the Jets have found something that's going to work well for them. And we said it earlier. Don't put anybody in front of Curtis Martin. Give him more space. Let him see a wider range, so when a hole does open up, he's able to go wherever he wants to make those runs.
First down from the 44. Martin, left side. Not much there. And that'll probably take us to the 2-minute warning. And it will. 2 minutes to play. First quarter. Jets with the football and a 7-3 lead on Miami. Coming up at halftime, off to New York you go for the NASDAQ halftime report. Jim Nantz, Marcus Allen, Brent Jones, George Seifert will get you caught up on all the action from this 5th weekend of the 98 NFL season. And look at what's so special about kick and punt returns this year. That's coming up on the NASDAQ halftime report. Phil, what is so special about kick and punt returns? You not having been a special teamer.
I don't know. You know, I hated it.
Reason enough to tune in then,
yeah, that's right. And I've always said to you, it's the worst when you stand on the sideline and you see your special teams mess up. You're like, wow, you just can't believe it. Because players, a lot of times, they divide the game offense and defense.
Kyle Brady in motion left side. Curtis Martin can't get there. And Jason Taylor and Sam Madison on the far side of the field to make the stop for the Dolphins.
Well, when you see it play so many times in a game, you finally wake up. Watch Sam Madison. He goes, oh, here they come again. They're going to block down. It's going to be a sweep. Good job. Just gets up the field right away. Doesn't let Kyle Brady, the big tight end, get out there and make the block. Good job of adjusting, using your knowledge that you gained during the course of the game and taking advantage of it.
Clock continues to run with under a minute and a half now to play. You know, Sam Madison, a little bit of a trash talker on defense, and he and Keyshawn Johnson have been exchanging words and phrases during the course of the week.
They do
for this game,
but it's kind of fun how they do it. They have a little fun with it.
Timeout on the field. 1:18 to play. The Jets stop the clock. We'll be right back. Back at the Meadowlands. 1:18 to play here in the first half. And onto the field is Ray Lucas.
Ray Lucas, the backup quarterback this week. Last year they used to bring him in and like run some options, quarterback draws, and now Vinny Testaverde is going to come in, so it was a little. Coach Parcells changes his mind, but Ray Lucas, they did play him a lot more in this preseason, and I think somewhere down the line we're going to see a package where he can drop back and throw the football down the field more. And last year all you could do was roll out, throw the sideline routes, or run the football.
Testaverde going to go deep down the sideline, intended for Corbett, intercepted by Patrick Surtain, and a penalty marker on the play. And Wayne Corbett says this is going to go against Miami. Pass interference. Jimmy Johnson wants to know why on the sidelines.
Well, he might have a good reason. I mean, Patrick Surtain had Wayne Corbett covered. What happened is
Pass interference. Defense number 23. Automatic first down.
You know, he just kept making contact with Corbett as they went down the field. And the Miami Dolphins are very upset by it because they're up there watching the replay on the scoreboard and they don't see the pass interference. Here they come down, two of them on the inside. Right before it came on, there was a little pushing going on, but not enough to really affect the play. Unless you impede the progress of the wide receiver, they should not throw the flag.
So what are you telling me?
That it was not a good call.
Wow. You see the penalty situation there, a minute 12 to play, and now the Jets are in prime striking position, the Miami 21-yard line. First down. Curtis Martin alone back behind Testaverde, who will throw. Quick drop. Keyshawn Johnson incomplete. Terrell Buckley on the cover.
That is probably the biggest reason why this defense has improved so much this year. Terrell Buckley, Sam Madison on the other side. Terrell Buckley says, I don't think I've been more than 3 yards off of a receiver all year long. They come up, they pressure the wide receivers, they make the quarterback hold the football. They let their pass rushers and other players make the plays because of that. In years past, they would be way off. You throw it outside, get the easy completions, keep moving the football.
2nd and 10 from the 21. Testaverde goes down. Jason Taylor in his face again. And let's check the penalty marker. No, there is no penalty marker.
Jason Taylor, number 99, just gets going up the field, pushes Jumbo Elliott back, sticks his leg out, and does the old trip. Watch his feet. Jason Taylor sticks his leg out. That could be a penalty. That is tripping.
I believe that's a penalty. Went undetected. Clock moving with 35 seconds to play in the first half. The Jets looking at 3rd and 19, and now call a timeout and stop the clock with 32 seconds to play in the first half. Low-scoring defensive battle. Jets in the lead. Jets have used all 3 of their timeouts. 32 seconds left to play. And what do you do now if you're Coach Bill Parcells?
Well, you can do anything you want, really. I mean, don't let the no timeout situation affect what you're going to call. Even if you get tackled in the field of play, you still should be able to run your field goal team on and get the field goal off. But what I think he really wants to do, just pick up a few yards to make the field goal attempt closer than 47 yards.
His place kicker, John Hall, has a long this season of 36 yards. 3rd and 19. Testaverde down the far side. Johnson incomplete. And now Hall will come onto the field. 27 seconds to play. You know, as you and I went over the scenarios that could have happened in this game, was this one of them?
Oh, yes. I mean, I think a low-scoring game was definitely in the cards. A team that plays good defense and runs the football takes a lot of plays out of the game and slows the pace of it down. That's what's happened so far here in the first half today.
47-yard attempt by John Hall. Gets it away. It's going to be long enough, and it's going to be right down the middle. A 47-yard field goal by John Hall has the Jets on top by a score of 10-3. That field goal and Keyshawn Johnson's touchdown catch. Well, we talked about the battles that he was going to have with the cornerbacks today, the Miami Dolphins.
Well, it's going to be more than just a battle of the mouths. They're going to do it. Some physical action on the field. You can see it early. They both want to get after each other. Keyshawn is incidental tripping, nothing there. But then he uses his height to his advantage, which he has done this year. Catches the football in the corner of the end zone for a touchdown. And Keyshawn Johnson, you know, he does do a lot of talking, but for the New York Jets, gets along with his teammates, does catch big passes and touchdown passes in the games.
Meanwhile, here's Jimmy Johnson's problem at halftime. His Miami Dolphins, 56 penalty yards here in the first half, only 40 yards of total offense.
Well, you know, that's not what he expected. I know that they haven't been burning it up on offense, but he looked at this Jet defense and says, they have some holes over there. We should be able to take advantage of it with our offense. They have not. But you don't have to change your game plan. It's still just 10-3. Everything you dreamed up in the 2 weeks, it can still work.
Avery and Marion deep. This is Brock Marion. Big hole up the middle. To the outside, 25. Comes down at about the 27 or 28-yard line. Wayne Gordon with the tackle after about a 30-yard return for Brock Marion. And so Dan Marino has 14 seconds to work with. Boy, if you tell someone, okay, Dan Marino has 10 passing yards in the first half.
Well, if you told a fan that, they'd go, wow. But, well, I guess if you told anybody that, they'd be surprised.
I think it's a wow.
But I think most of the people around the league realize the Dolphins' passing game, it's going to suffer because of personnel and the fact that the emphasis on running the football.
Marino from the shotgun. Bernie Parmalee out of the backfield will be stopped shy of the 40, although it's enough for a first down. And the clock is stopped with 5 seconds to play.
Now, the first thing that comes to your mind, hey, well, why are they doing that? Well, a couple reasons. Throw it short. He'd look down the field. Nobody's open. Throw it short. You hope the guy, Bernie Parmalee, can get a few more yards. You wanted to get near midfield so you could throw the Hail Mary into the end zone, look for the interference, or if you get really lucky, a touchdown. But I don't think Dan can throw it 70 yards. That's what's going to take now to get it to the end zone. But a pass interference, you get one more play, you can kick a field goal.
You know, you have it all figured out.
That's what Coach, remember we were at the meetings, Coach Parcells, he said to us the other day, right, he goes, you just shut up.
Yes.
Yeah,
and he made it really clear.
Yeah. How about I do the coaching, you do the playing, and okay.
So barring a penalty, this will be the last play of the first half. Marino casts off. O.J. McDuffie down the field, and that looks like it was picked off by Ray Mickens, number 24. So the Jets capped the first half with an interception, our halftime score. The Jets 10 and Miami 3. Coming up, we'll be sending you to New York for the NASDAQ halftime report. Jim Nance and company getting you caught up on scores and highlights after these messages from your local station.
CBS Sports presentation of the NASDAQ halftime report is sponsored by the NASDAQ stock market.
All right, welcome back to the CBS Broadcast Center in New York. And so far in that first half, the Dolphins under 100 yards total offense. How about the Jets defense? And how about Keith Byers breaking Marcus's record for receptions by a running back? Right there on that one, Marcus.
Hey, great job. Guy deserves it, does everything. He's an excellent player. But the defense of the Jets, they look like the number 2 defense of rather than the Dolphins.
You were saying great job a few minutes ago before we went on the air.
Kicking and screaming. Only 42 yards passing for Marino in that first half. Jets lead by 7. Elsewhere in the NFL today, the Patriots and the Saints, and the Patriots lead by 3. The Saints scored on the last play of the first half, a touchdown pass from Danny Werfel just a yard out. And, well, Drew Bledsoe had not been picked off in 106 passes, but he has thrown 2 interceptions today. Here's Robert Edwards giving the Patriots a 10-point lead with 2.5 to go before the intermission. Then Pete Carroll's team watched Mike Ditka go for it with just seconds, the last play of the half there. What do you think of that call, George?
I thought it was a heck of a call, and when you get a chance to score against an explosive team such as the Patriots, you go for the juggler.
All right, the Bills, Wade Phillips looking for his first win there in Buffalo, and they've taken advantage of 3 49er turnovers. What a shocker going on there. San Diego and the Colts. Manning has thrown for only 62 yards, and the Colts lead by 5 at halftime. Leaf with an interception. Cowboys and Redskins. Jason Garrett 9 of 10 and a touchdown pass in that one. The Bears and the Lions all square at halftime. The Bears, remember, they have never trailed at halftime, but they have not won a game this year. 10-10 at the half. Carolina and Atlanta and the Falcons. Tim Dwight returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Falcons trying to beat Carolina for the second time this season. Speaking of returns, we're going to come back and talk about the return game this season in the NFL as we continue on the NASDAQ halftime report. Keyshawn Johnson hauling in the touchdown for the Jets. They lead by 7 at halftime.
CBS Sports presentation of the NASDAQ halftime report is sponsored by the NASDAQ stock market.
Welcome back to our studios here in New York and the NASDAQ halftime report. Now, going into week 5 of the season, the special teams have provided some special moments. After 4 weeks of play, 8 punts and 6 kickoff returns have been taken back for touchdowns. That's a record since the league went to a 16-game schedule back in 1978.
It can be the most exciting part of the game and the turning point in any NFL matchup, the return.
If you can get your return game going, you can certainly set the table for your offense.
Jermaine Lewis from about the 14. Goes to his right, gets a big block, 15, 20, 25, 30. Got a blocker, 40. Up the sideline, he is gone! Jermaine Lewis, 20, 10, 5, touchdown!
First thing, you want to make sure you catch the ball.
Into the end zone, fair, coming out.
Then after that, first thing I do is take a peek and see where my most dangerous threat is coming towards me.
25, 30, 35 left side, 40.
From then on, just trying to find a little hole or a crease and just reading my blocker's block.
35, 30, Derry Fair's going to score! Touchdown, Lions!
You line up, you have a plan, and you try to get 10 guys around somebody like this, like Dion, because every time they know that the ball's kicked to them, they know we have a possibility.
I don't catch the punt and try to get 10 yards. Every time we catch a punt, we're trying to score. So sometimes I would run backwards and lose yards trying to make a big play.
Slices back left to the 30. A foot race to the 20. Say touchdown, Deion Sanders.
For the record, since entering the league in 1976, Tampa Bay has returned 1,340 kickoffs, but not a single one for a touchdown. Now, Marcus, I've got to know, how come we never saw you playing special teams? You caught the ball, you ran with it, did all this, but you never returned kicks or punts.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret, buddy.
Okay.
I wasn't man enough to do it.
Well, we knew
I'll let
that.
you guys know now. No, the Raiders put me back there, when I was a rookie while at practice and stuff, and I was back there returning kicks and dropped every single one. And because I wasn't man enough to do it. The only person I told that, guys, I'm coming clean now, is my mom. So
You dropped it on purpose?
yeah, I'm exposed.
No way.
The best pass receiver ever out of the backfield.
That's my image.
Not man enough. All right, the NFL on CBS will continue in just a moment.
Meadowlands, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Phil Simms. And all day long, certainly all week long, people have been talking about Dan Marino's history against the New York. He's had a wonderful time throwing the football against the New York Jets. Take a look. Almost a 60% completion percentage, 67 touchdowns, only 28 picks in all of those starts against the Jets. Look at what's happened to him today. Marino is just 6 of 14 for 40 yards, no touchdowns, and interception. There's a reason for that.
Well, he's dreaming about all those good days he's had in the past, but now the offense, he doesn't have the skill outside. The defense can crowd the line of scrimmage. It takes him longer to find somebody open. Even when he moves around, he still can't find anybody open. And then it hurts the running game, too, because if you don't respect the pass, you put that extra guy near the line of scrimmage and stopping the running game, too.
And certainly one thing that can help Dan Marino is if the Dolphins run the football a little better in the second half than they did in the first half.
Well, that would really help. I think the Dolphins, if you want some big plays, you need to fake the runs and throw the football down the field on play-action passes.
All right, let's check in with the third musketeer of this group, Armen Keteyian, downstairs. Armen.
Greg, I talked to both coaches. Jimmy Johnson, not pleased with the penalties. He said, still pounding away on the running game. We got to have something going if we're going to win this thing. Bill Parcells said, I do not want to get into a passing game. Also, Kevin Mawa just came by. He kind of winked. He said, Zach Thomas is having a little bit of a problem, isn't he? Back to you.
Oh, Zach Thomas is having a problem. In fact, unofficially, we have him listed for 2 tackles in all. This is the guy who leads the statistic every week for Miami.
Well, what you do as a coach, you devise a game plan to get your team and stay away from the other team's really good player. So the Jets have done that today. They have devised ways to get to Zach Thomas and keep him from making all those tackles. And also in the passing game, Vinny Testaverde a couple times has gone away from a guy because Zach Thomas loves to read the quarterback's eyes and run to those receivers.
In number 54, you're looking at the AFC Defensive Player of the Month for the month of September, the first month of this NFL season. He had 37 tackles, a sack, and an interception, which he returned 17 yards for a touchdown. So Kevin Mawae has won the first half battle.
Well, Kevin Mawae, you know, that's interesting, and Armen said that because he is one of the few centers that has the speed and agility, besides probably Dermontti Dawson for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They can get out, pull around, and go up the field and catch Zach Thomas because Zach Thomas is a fast linebacker.
Olindo Mare gets set to kick it off here in the second half. Aaron Glenn, Leon Johnson deep for the Jets. This is Johnson from the 2. The 20. Penalty marker flies as he gets out to about the 30 or 31-yard line. It's a 28-yard return, but this is going to go against the Jets, and it'll back them up. Ed Hockley going to find the camera.
Holding by the receiving team number 53 during the return. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's Chad Cascadden, the guilty party. Take a look at the halftime statistics, and these are very atypical numbers, particularly in the passing department.
Well, there's a lot of bad ones there. Really, they're not very good for either team, but it tells you the total yards for the Dolphins, 52. That's probably the biggest surprising thing in the game. They thought the Jet defense was very suspect. They could come out, throw, run, basically do whatever they want. They've had no success in either department so far.
Vinny Testaverde, 6 of 14 for 47 yards and a touchdown in the first half. And the Jets begin at their own 16, and he's going to come out throwing. Sideline pass intended for Corbett is incomplete. You know, we saw Wayne Corbett's dad in the first half sitting in the stands. It is amazing how much those guys look alike.
Yes, when you say the father-son, sometimes you can look like your father. There's Wayne Corbett Sr. But to give you a look at this. About the same age. I'd say they look alike.
That's scary.
Yeah, it is.
That's scary.
Even Wayne Corbett, when he saw his father one time, a photo of him when he was younger, he says, wow, it is scary. We do look alike.
On the ground, Curtis Martin. And Martin will pick up a couple. Yeah, now, you know, they don't look completely alike. If you get Wayne Sr. to disrobe and do a little posing.
Christ. Well, I'd say he's in pretty good shape. What do you think, Greg?
I'd say so.
You know, years ago, you looked like that.
Yeah.
But there he is, Wayne Corbett giving some great stuff on his dad. His dad goes to every single game, home and away. And it was funny, last week, the Jets have the bye. He calls his dad, and his dad, what's his dad? He goes, hey, it's the bye week. I'm doing yard work. I'm doing this. And I got to get it done because I don't have another weekend off for the rest of the year. So
3rd and 9 for the Jets, and Testaverde to throw. Under the blitz. Gets it away, complete to Byers out of the backfield, stumbles forward to about the 20-yard line. And a good job by Testaverde in the face of the rush to get rid of the football.
Excellent job by Vinny Testaverde buying that extra time. Brian Walker, number 45, comes in on the blitz. Look at the blitz coming from up top. Vinny Testaverde knows it, just gets it off to Keith Byers, and Keith Byers has a lot of room to run, but he slips and falls, not able to pick up the first down.
So on 4th and 6, Brian Henson to kick it away to Charles Jordan. Jordan from his 45. Can't find a block and comes down shy of midfield. Chad Cascadden makes the play. 35-yard punt, 2-yard return, 13:20 to play here in the 3rd quarter, and the Jets lead it by a touchdown. Back at the Meadowlands, and the Miami Dolphins go to work for their first possession here in the 2nd half. First down from their own 46-yard line, and Dan Marino with good field position. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the lone back behind him. And they'll keep it on the ground, losing the football. Jabbar came back to grab the loose ball.
Well, when you see these running plays by the Miami Dolphins, when I was watching film, Dan Marino, they call this the stretch play, stretch left. He really has to work to get out there. That time he extends the ball out, doesn't quite get it into the stomach of the running back, right on the hip. That's the reason for the fumble.
Loss of 4 on the play. Back to the 42.
I'd prefer just to get it and toss it out there. You know, that run, it really is a hard handoff for a quarterback to get out there on the edge and stick it into the stomach of the running back.
2nd and 14. Marino over the middle, incomplete, intended for his tight end Troy Drayton a few moments ago.
Well, this shows you two things this last play. The Miami Dolphins with their new offense, how they can protect the quarterback. Watch the blitzes by the New York Jets, and watch this block by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Dwayne Gordon leaves his feet. Never leave your feet unless you're trying to block the pass by the quarterback, because you can get hurt in situations like that.
So Jimmy Johnson's Dolphins now looking at a 3rd and 14, and the Dolphins have come up empty on previous 3rd down tries this afternoon. Marino, incomplete. O.J. McDuffie, the intended receiver. And they'll kick it away.
You know, actually, that was a good throw by Dan Marino. You're up top. You be the quarterback. Here he is. Watch the receivers as they go down the field, all of them. Nobody even gets close to getting open. Dan Marino actually makes a perfect throw. The guy's covered. Mickens is underneath the receiver. He has to throw it low and outside. Nowhere to go with the football.
Leon Johnson deep for the Jets. Wilmsmeyer's punt. Not a very good one. Johnson trying to make the fair catch, never got to the football. The penalty marker flies as the ball is bobbled around down there. And Johnson eventually fell on it.
Scott Frost, number 47 for the Jets, sees the ball up in the air and reaches up to get it. Then Leon Johnson does a good job of getting back and recovering it for the New York Jets.
Leon signaled for a fair catch and then ran into traffic.
Well, it was a bad, he couldn't get there because the punt is so bad. But watch the ball hit. Oh, that's why. I'm sorry, Scott Frost. I apologize. It hits him by accident. He did not know it. Leon Johnson, when a punt is bad like what the returner does.
I don't think Ed has put his microphone on, but I believe if I read his lips correctly, he said no foul.
Well, he said the heck with it.
No, he didn't say the heck with it. Or a reasonable facsimile thereof. Bill Parcells is going to chew on what he's going to do next. 10-3 Jets.
The NFL on CBS. is sponsored by Southwest Air, Volkswagen, and by IBM.
Along with Armen Keteyian and Phil Simms, Greg Gumbel back at the Meadowlands in our Ace CBS Sports crew. 12:14 to play here in the third quarter. Jets with the football and a 10-3 lead, first down at their own 29-yard line. Pitches to Curtis Martin. Dodges one tackler, can't dodge two more. And Jason Taylor not in the lineup. He trotted off the field a few moments ago. Let's get the latest from Armen Keteyian. Armen.
Greg, as you mentioned, Jason Taylor actually sprinted off the field a couple of minutes ago in obvious pain, his left wrist and hand against his chest. He's in getting x-rayed right now. The other bit of bad news, it's starting to rain again. Back to you.
Well, that may be bad news for you, Armen.
I'm dry. Feel good up here. Got the heat on, Armen.
Clock moving with 11:40 to play here in the third quarter. 2nd and 11 for Miami from the 28. Testaverde rolls right, has room, throws complete to Keyshawn Johnson, who had it, lost it out of bounds, but it is ruled incomplete. Ruled incomplete, and they said he was juggling the football as he went out of bounds. Let's take a look.
Well, good play action fake by Vinny Testaverde, rolls to his right. Really nice soft touch over to defender into Keyshawn's hands. Let's see if he gets it. It is a catch all the way. He has control of the football, knocked out from behind by Brock Marion. As they would say, that is not even close.
The Jets crowd's reaction is both audible and predictable. 3rd and 11.
Well, if they didn't react that way, you're in a lot of trouble. You know, that means you really are playing bad, and they really don't like you.
Testaverde going to roll right again. Throws, complete. And that is a catch by Dedrick Ward, and that's enough for a first down. 16 yards.
You know, you get in those passing situations, you know the defense knows you're going to the Dolphins. What they do, they try to put pressure on the quarterback. So the Jets come up with a changeup. They roll the quarterback out, give Vinny Testaverde time, but more importantly, give the receiver, Dedrick Ward, time to go down the field, pass the first yard markers, and make the catch on the sideline. Good call and good execution.
We've talked about how Miami's defensive philosophy has changed. The corners are playing tighter on wide receivers, and Dedrick Ward able to push his man back and then come back for the football. Curtis Martin. Martin can't elude the tacklers. That'll be a loss on the play. Let's check in with Jim Nantz in New York. Jim.
Greg and Phil, I'm going to show you the run of the day. Guess who turned it in? How about Henry Thomas of the Patriots after the pick? Look at this bit of running. Bouncing around to the end zone. The Saints just added a field goal to get back within 7. And let's go back to the Meadowlands.
I think somewhere the fridge is smiling, don't you think?
You know, I'm going to tell you, all quarterbacks have been in that situation. It is almost impossible to tackle a defensive lineman. They are so big. When you put your arms around them, what are you going to do?
And what do they care?
Well, that's right.
2nd and 14. Curtis Martin tries the left side, lost his footing, and gained about 2 before Patrick Surtain made the tackle.
They think it's their little daughter playing with them. Hey, get off of there. What are you doing? Leave me alone. They just keep on going down the field.
Well, it doesn't appear, at least at this stage of this football game, that we're going to see any great change in offensive philosophy from either team at this point.
Well, they're trying. They're trying a lot of things. I think both sides know they're trying to open it up, but they don't want to gamble too much and make the mistake. We're seeing this game. It's going to be like this most likely for the rest of the day. The defenses are both playing well, and they have good plans.
3rd and 12. Testaverde rolls right, going to go deep for Ward, and it's out of bounds and incomplete. And that'll bring up a 4th down for the Jets.
You know, that's a good job by Vinny Testaverde. Nobody's open. Let it go. Let it go out of bounds. You know, this is what a quarterback's got to do. Things are not wide open. It's not working. It's not pretty. But manage the football game. Know when to take a chance. You're leading 10-3. Dolphins can't do anything. Don't take a chance.
So Charles Jordan backs up to about his own 17-yard line for the anticipated punt from Brian Hansen. Jordan at the 18. 25. across the 30, and he's crunched to the ground at about 31, maybe the 32-yard line by Chad Cascadden. Dan Marino getting some final words on the sideline before he tries to ignite this Miami offense. Well, this Tuesday on an all-new JAG, a U.S. soldier is accused of a crime that puts the entire U.S. Navy on trial. JAG, a new episode, Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on CBS. Nice uniform. John Avery in the backfield for the Dolphins as Marino starts first down from his own 31. Avery tries left side, bounces right, penalty marker flies. Pepper Johnson makes the tackle, and this will go against the Dolphins, a holding call.
And when you're having trouble just picking up a couple yards, trying to keep things somewhat on your side, penalties, especially holding penalties, very tough for an offense to overcome.
Holding by the offense, number 78, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Well, offense has just been a big problem in general for the Miami Dolphins today. Take a look at what they've done on their first 8 possessions.
Well, I'm looking for the good one. This time they had 7 plays for 33 yards, but it has been a struggle all day long. And a couple of those extra yards they're making is just strictly on the effort of the offensive players once they get their ball in the hand.
9 minutes to play, third quarter, 1st and 20. Marino with time, gets Avery out of the backfield. And Avery gets crunched. Boy, this Miami team is finding a New York Jet defense that is every bit as tough today as the Miami defense has been the first 3 games of this season.
Well, that's right, and you know, the New York Jets just taking advantage. But watch Dan Marino. Here's what I find interesting. Here he goes back, plenty of time. He's waiting. Man, he wants somebody to come open down the field. And then, like, he goes, okay, here, take it back. Take it, John. See if you can do something with it. But the Jets doing a good job not letting receivers catch the ball and run.
You see Marino's numbers, and they are very un-Marino-like to this point. From the shotgun. Marino goes down. Ernie Logan, number 93.
Well, this is the Jets just causing confusion up front. They're bringing the blitz. Watch them come. The linebackers trying to get in the way. Open up the way for the defensive lineman. Ernie Logan comes through, does a good job of getting over the blocker and making the sack.
3rd sack of the day for Marino. And you see how he's doubled up on the first 3 games of this season. 3rd and 22. Far side, intercepted. Victor Green as Marino hit the turf.
Even a veteran quarterback like Dan Marino, it's 10-3. You're back there. You can't find anybody open down the field. You get impatient. He gets impatient. This time, he's looking down the field. Anthony Pleasant comes around his man and delivers the big hit on Dan Marino. But more importantly, down the field, there's nobody open, but he wants to try to make a play. He wants to get down. Victor Green in perfect position, double covers the wide receiver and makes the interception.
Meanwhile, Lamar Thomas is the receiver who hit the turf over on the far side and got up screaming at the officials for a call that didn't come.
Well, there has been a lot of hand fighting down the field on both sides with the receivers and defensive backs. The officials have been very lenient, letting both teams play, and you know, as long as they're calling it the same way for both sides, you just can't complain.
You know, there's been a lot of tough discussion, and rightfully so, Phil, about the Miami defense in the first 3 games of this season. But the last 2 games, this is a New York Jets team, a defense that has allowed just 1 touchdown and 4 field goals. And take a look at the scoreboard today, a field goal.
Well, again, I kind of said that earlier. You go through preseason, the season starts, and it's like starting over a lot of times. And I think the Jets are finding out where to play their guys, what guys can do certain things in situations. They play a lot of defensive players. They give you a lot of looks, and they're starting to take advantage of the offenses in predictable situations.
7:36 to play, 3rd quarter.
Now this is a chance, you know, you're Bill Parcells of the New York Jets on offense. you know, you got the ball on the 44-yard line of Miami. You got to come in somehow, bring out some new plays. If you can get a touchdown, you just take everything off the game plan for the Miami Dolphins. They got to play your game.
You're looking at Jason Taylor, who is back out of the locker room and prowling the sideline. You know, he's an amazing guy. We were talking with him yesterday, and he looks like a power forward in professional basketball.
Well, he looks like he should look. You know, he's tall, lean, he's very agile, and when you watch him play football, very fast, and that's how he plays. He doesn't try to overpower anybody. He's going to outrun you.
Come out with a cast on that left hand. First down for the Jets. Testaverde, play action. Throws to a wide open Keyshawn Johnson across the 35 to about the 31 or 32-yard line. Pickup of 12 and a Jets first down.
Well, what you do sometimes to get somebody open on offense, you just kind of send the guy in motion, Keith Byers. You send somebody inside, somebody out, and it opens the hole up inside for Keyshawn Johnson. A big target for a quarterback to find.
Is that what you did in the huddle? Somebody do this and somebody do that?
It's just not complicated.
Testaverde, play action again. Over the middle, same play. Keyshawn Johnson close to the 25-yard line and another 5-yard pickup.
Well, the Jets found something they like, you know. Instead of just dropping back, he gives a quick play action fake. Again, Keith Byers clears the way. Keyshawn goes in an open spot behind it, makes the catch. Zach Thomas with the big hit.
3 receptions for Keyshawn today, including the 10-yard touchdown pass. Under 6.5 to play. On the ground now. Not much there for Curtis Martin. He's racked up by the 2 big guys in the middle of that Miami defense, Daryl Gardner and Tim Bowens.
Well, when you run it up inside against the Miami Dolphins, you just kind of hope to catch them by surprise. Because you really cannot move Bowens and Gardner out of the middle. What you got to do is just hope you can get some angles and your runner can get by them before they are able to shed the blocker and make the tackle.
3rd and 6.
5 wide receivers for the New York Jets.
And Jason Taylor back on the field for the Dolphins at right defensive end. Testaverde pulls it down, starts to take off with it, and gets down close to the first down, but doesn't have enough. Trace Armstrong, Shane Burton applying the pressure and making the stop.
I would think the New York Jets would kick the field goal here.
It doesn't appear that the field goal unit is coming onto the field.
Well, you think I would know these things since I played so many years for Coach Parcells, but I still don't. I'm looking at it. You get 13 points, 13-10. That's 2 scores.
The way your defense is playing?
Well, the way the Miami offense is doing nothing.
Byers and Curtis Martin behind Testaverde on 4th and 2. He's going to throw it. Byers out of the backfield, first down and more. 15, 10, inside the 10 to about the 7-yard line. First and goal for the Jets.
But when you form a game plan before each game, you know if you get in this situation, you've studied the opponent, you know what play you're going to run. It looked like Coach Parcells and Charlie Weiss, the offensive coordinator, they knew what they were going to do.
Keyshawn Johnson on the other side, almost undressed over there by Sam Madison.
Wow. But those kind of calls, Greg, they know before the game when they get in that situation, it's already been planned out. They went with it and it worked.
Curtis Martin stacked up the middle on 1st and goal from the 6. And Martin has had most of his success running outside.
Well, we've kind of talked about it. You know, up in the middle, you got those 2 big guys, and everybody thinks, well, when you got a fast defense, you got to run up in the middle. Well, we've seen today, Curtis Martin outside for 34, 26 on the other side. That's where he's getting his yardage.
Clock is running, coming up on 3:45 to play here in the 3rd. 2nd and goal from the 6. Testaverde going to throw. Plenty of time. Comes to this side and incomplete and almost intercepted by Terrell Buckley.
Hey, that is a really, really good play by Terrell Buckley. His back is to the quarterback. He doesn't even see the pass coming. But at the last second, he reads the receiver's eyes, turns around, jumps, knocks the pass down. Dedrick Ward, Vinny Testaverde had the right idea. The defender's not looking, throw over his head before he turns. But Terrell Buckley, he's a veteran. He's seen a lot of passes, reacts well to the eyes of the receiver.
3rd and goal from the 6. Martin up the middle. Touchdown.
Spread the defense out, catch them off guard. You're playing pass all the way. Curtis Martin, before the Dolphins can react, he's in the end zone for the touchdown.
Curtis Martin's first touchdown of the season. The extra point is good. 3:33 to play in the 3rd quarter. And the New York Jets on Curtis Martin's 6-yard burst up the middle now lead Miami 17-3.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Enterprise and by Castrol Syntax.
Jets fans couldn't be happier. Curtis Martin registers his first touchdown of the season, his first as a Jet. And the kick. Brock Marion at the goal line. 20. 30. And dragged down just short of the 30-yard line by Jerry Wilson. 27-yard return. And 3:20 to play in the 3rd quarter. Why is Mike Wallace so interested in a woman's curves? Because she's the first woman to pitch for a professional baseball team, and she's on 60 Minutes tonight. Then it's Touched by an Angel, followed by the CBS Sunday movie About Sarah, starring Kelly Martin and Mary Steenburgen. There's only one place to be on Sunday nights. It's right here on CBS. First down, Dolphins from the 29-yard line. They'll keep it on the ground with John Avery. A pickup of about 4, and during the timeout, Phil, you were saying, you know, Bill Parcells, you may have to be careful what you wish for, but now Bill may get it.
Yeah, he might get what he wished for, and of course he said it with a lot of reservations, but he knew if he could stop the running game, get ahead, and we're getting close to that point in the game, Dan Marino's going to have to throw to beat you, because I guess he believes they can get to the quarterback, or because of the lack of talent outside, they can maybe intercept the pass.
2nd and 6. Avery again. Right side, and not much there. 3 on the play, and the clock continues to move as we approach 2.5 to play for the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, all you need is 2 scores, so I know we're not being too early with that analysis, but the Dolphins try to keep the defense off guard, still mix it up, and Bill Belichick, the defensive coordinator for the Jets, has really mixed it up well against the Dolphins today. A lot of looks, blitzes, coverages. That's why they're not picking up any yards.
Keep it on the ground, and that's going to get them nowhere on 3rd and 3. So again, on their 10th try at a 3rd down conversion, the Dolphins fail for the 10th time.
You know what? Here comes Pepper Johnson. He's just right here. Mo Lewis on the outside. Nobody's blocking him. Comes in, makes the sack, or makes the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. If you want to run the football, the one thing you got to be on offense is good on 3rd downs. The Dolphins have not done that today.
We're looking downstairs now at a very, very frustrated Dan Marino as Klaus Wilmsmeyer booms one out of there. Leon Johnson from the 17 eludes a tackler, eludes another. A huge block on the far side as Johnson is forced out of bounds, and the Dolphins down on the ground and is not moving. 24 is Jerry Wilson. And Wilson is still laying and not moving.
Here he is, 24. Jerry Wilson Brian Cox on the peel back blocks him to the ground. Number 51, it's a legal block in front with the body. Wilson never saw the block coming.
Jerry Wilson at 5'10", 185, and Brian Cox weighing in at 6'4" and 250.
Well, he's moving around a little now.
And the personnel continue to work on Jerry Wilson. We'll remind you the clock is stopped with 1:16 to play here in the third quarter.
You know, we were talking about the Miami offense, and I played on a few teams, Greg, over the years that loved to run the football. And so we spent all of our time in practice running, working on it, different ways to do certain things. And then the rest of the time, half the time we spent on throwing the ball on third down. Because if you're going to run the football, you're going to be in a lot of 3rd and 5s, 3rd and 4s, those type of situations, and you got to be really good at it to keep drives going, because the running game, it's just not going to pick up big chunks.
Well, I've always thought this, and it doesn't apply to Dan Marino because he's thrown the ball all of his career, but you see teams that love to run the football and love to run it and run it and run it, and now you get to third down and you're expected to throw it. How can you expect to be proficient at it if you don't try it every once in a while?
Well, I know that's why you got to practice it a lot. I mean, that's the give and take, and you got to decide what you want to be. The Dolphins have decided, let's be a running team. We got a good defense, played a little close to the vest, but that's the thing that's going to put them over the top, really, is they got to be a better third down passing team.
Now Jerry Wilson onto his feet and gets a hand from the crowd, and he's going to take the slow walk across the field. This is what's happened with Dan Marino on third down here today. 1 of 7 for 3 yards.
But I think, you know, even yesterday when we were talking to the Miami Dolphins, we could sense some of the reservations they had. They weren't quite sure about the team, about their defense. It is as good as they thought. I think their defense is as good as advertised. The offense, they were a little concerned. It hadn't had to go out and force the issue yet.
Because they've been ahead. Big leads early in the game and weren't really tested. And that's what they kept saying. This game was going to be a big test for them. First down for the Jets from the 30-yard line. Fakes the handoff. This side complete to his man out of the backfield, and that's Curtis Martin. And that may have lost a yard on the play. And we have 1 minute to play here in the third quarter.
Well, the New York Jet offensive line, they've had a good game today so far, protecting Vinny Testaverde, providing the time to throw the ball when he does get somebody open down the field. But more importantly, kind of establishing a running game, something a little different, getting outside. We did say earlier they have high hopes for this offensive line. They got a rookie right tackle, a new center, Jumbo Elliott, a veteran left tackle.
2nd and 11. The pitch to Curtis Martin. Martin ducks it back inside, across the 35, out close to the 40. Brock Marion with the stop after a 10-yard pickup.
Wayne Corbett, Jets trying to go outside. You know, sometimes you got to be careful. He's coming in the left, coming from the left side. He's trying to block Daniel Stubbs. He whiffs him, misses him completely. Stubbs gets up the field. Watch him. Here he comes. He's going to hit Stubbs. Oh, I just missed him.
You saw Zach Thomas run past the ball carrier as well, too. Zach Thomas, is his short stature, told us yesterday he may have a little bit of trouble finding those cutback blockers. That's the end of the third quarter. With the score, the Jets 17 and the Miami Dolphins 3. We'll come right back to the Meadowlands after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Jets quarterback Vinny Testaverde steps into the huddle on 3rd and 1 from his own 39.
Good solid day, I think, so far by Vinny Testaverde. Nothing spectacular, but hasn't made the mistake that has hurt his football team.
Curtis Martin, left side, first down across the 40 before he's dragged down. That'll be enough for a first down as they scramble for a football that has been blown dead. And let's check in with Armen Keteyian. Armen.
Greg, a medical update on Jerry Wilson. He suffered a concussion. They just took him off the field for observation. As for those Jet fans at home with a little anxiety, I want to let you know that 33 times during Dan Marino's 16-year career, he's engineered a comeback in the fourth quarter. 5 times the most than any team in the NFL. It's been against the Jets. The most recent, 1994, he was down 14-24, came back 28-24. Back to you.
All right, Armen.
Well, that's great, Armen. All the Jet fans enjoying the game at home, and you just ruined it.
First down, pitch to Martin, right side. And you can't turn the corner. And he was chasing big Jason Fabini out there as right tackle.
You know, we've been talking all day how the Jets went around. So let's just show you. Keyshawn's going to come in, block the outside guy, and then Jason Fabini, 69, is going to try to get around. There he is. But Zach Thomas, the Dolphins, they've seen this play, well, about 10 times so far. They're reacting much better to it now. Harder for Curtis Martin to get outside and pick up those extra yards.
That's called the BOA, the B-O-A, the back on anybody.
Is that it? Okay.
Second and 10.
Give you one bit of information how you want to coach.
Testaverde, quick flip to Kyle Brady. Brady at midfield, and that's enough for another first down. 11-yard pickup, and the Jets doing a really good job of mixing things up.
They're really mixing it up this time. Kyle Brady comes down inside. Hey, you're on defense. You're going, well, this has got to be one of those runs at the outside again. Here he comes. You think he's going to make the block? The linebacker, Robert Jones, lets him go. Kyle Brady stops, goes to the outside, picks up the first down. Couple passes caught today by Kyle Brady. Not really usually a feature part of the passing offense, but they're doing a good job of mixing him up in certain situations. When the other team is thinking run, drop it to the tight end.
Kyle Brady, Jets first round pick back in '95. And Vinny Testaverde calls timeout, stopping the clock with 13:06 remaining here in the fourth quarter. You played for the man. You tell me what's going through his mind right about now, other than just keep on doing what you've been doing and don't change it.
Well, you know, I think one of the things I always thought he did well when I played for him and watching him once I've gotten out of the game, he really knows how to manufacture, and we talk about managing the game. You know, he knows what to call in certain situations. He knows now he just needs first downs, eat up some of that clock, and really take the chances for the Dolphins to win this game, taking them way down.
Curtis Martin hit hard by Robert Jones. Robert Jones, one of those guys Jimmy Johnson was telling us yesterday he thought was a really good pickup for his team.
Well, that might be an understatement. It's a great pickup for him. A veteran linebacker who's fast, who has experience, who's done a lot of good things, and got him for a low price because he was released by the St. Louis Rams. He played for Jimmy Johnson down in Dallas. Has come in and really done a good job at being an outside linebacker.
Curtis Martin, 144 yards 2 weeks ago against Indianapolis, approaching 100 yards. Testaverde going to throw down the sideline, fires. That's complete, and he continues to build on that record. And you know what strikes me about, as he broke that tie with Marcus Allen, it's going to be really hard for Marcus to catch him.
Yeah, that is a good point, Greg, but a good job by Keith Myers going down the sideline. It's a little, I don't know if he quite got that left foot in bounds. He made the catch. It looked like the left foot hit the white part, but it doesn't matter.
I believe we saw Bill Parcells ruling it a catch down there on the sideline.
He was begging.
First down for the Jets, now at the Miami 28. Martin gets nowhere in a hurry. Zach Thomas leading the way.
Well, it's getting late in the game. 11:50 to go. Fourth quarter. You're down 17-3. You got to take some chances on the running game. First down. You know the Jets are probably going to run it. Send your guys in there. Get a negative play. Now you think they're going to throw. Take another chance. Try to make the big play. 6 tackles. I think a lot of people, that probably sounds pretty good, but for Zach Thomas, it's almost always double digits in the low teens at least. The defense is designed for him to make tackles.
Second and 12. The pitch for Martin, right side. Fabini leads the way. Tries to cut inside and picked up maybe 4 on the play. Trace Armstrong coming down the line to make the stop.
The big problem running the football, we said them today, running the football down the field. Kevin Mawai, number 68, gets on Zach Thomas, does a good job. Kevin Mawai over 300 pounds, so if he gets a hold of Zach Thomas, he's going to push him backwards. And this is a really key pickup for the Jets this offseason. Kevin Mawai from Seattle comes in, anchors that offensive line. Big center.
Look at the huge disparity in rushing yardage today. Testaverde to throw on 3rd and 9. That's complete to the far side to Martin out of the backfield. And let's take a look at Zach Thomas in action.
Well, this is one thing he loves now. 3rd downs. He doesn't have to come out of the game. Last year he did. He had some injury problems. This year, 3rd down. Gets to cover Curtis Martin coming out of the backfield, makes the tackle.
44-yard field goal attempt now by John Hall. Good from 47 yards out earlier. The kick is blocked. And the Miami Dolphins will have the football at about their 25-yard line. Bill Parcells says sees no more points. Jimmy Johnson says we got to get some.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Jeep, the NASDAQ stock market, and by Pep Boys.
Back in the Meadowlands, still plenty of time on the board, 9:44 to be exact, and there is Shane Burton, who appeared to have gotten a hand on that field goal attempt to block it for the Dolphins and give Miami possession now at their own 25-yard line.
Well, it was big. It keeps Miami. They only need 2 scores for the tie. The Jets kick the field goal, 3 scores. That would be almost impossible for Miami to overcome.
And Dan Marino goes right to work out of the shotgun. Time, far side and field. His receiver slipped on the cut. O.J. McDuffie. Let's go back to the field goal attempt.
Well, it's a good push by Shane Burton, number 75 inside. Hard to tell. There he is. Watch him push. Gets his hand up. Gets the block. Good job. Into the backfield. That's the big thing. He pushes the offensive lineman about a yard into the backfield, which enables him to get up and knock the field goal down.
If you're the guy in charge of blocking him, do you want to walk past the coach on the sideline?
Oh, no. You stay away from coaches. Anytime something goes bad, you take the long way to the bench.
2nd and 10. That play won't count. Movement on the line. Anthony Pleasant on the charge. Mark Dixon is the man who moved in front of him, and it's going to go against the Dolphins.
Before the snap, full start, offense number 63. 5-yard penalty is still 2nd down.
That's the first-year guard out of Virginia, Mark Dixon. You know, if you say to Jimmy Johnson, I think you're going to be penalized more yards than you pick up on offense, he might go ballistic on you.
Well, he might not have showed up today. You know, I mean, that's the big thing. But, I mean, it says a lot of things. I mean, the Jets, they've got to be surprised, even if their defense, the success it's having. I think really up front, they're starting to really dominate the line of scrimmage somewhere where Coach Parcells was very concerned that he might get overpowered.
Marino is 7 of 19 for 43 yards. Over the middle, complete. And pulled down is Charles Jordan, shy of the 30-yard line, to pick up of about 10. Let's get Dan Marino's view of things.
Well, if you're the quarterback, you drop back and you looking down the field, look at the pass rushers in front of you, and sometimes you don't even know what you see. Well, there comes a helmet. It's white. Let me throw it to him. Right through the arms of Brian Cox into Charles Jordan's hands for the completion.
3rd and 5, and the Dolphins facing another 3rd down conversion. They've yet to make one today. Incomplete. And a penalty marker on the far side of the field. This one's against the Jets. That'll be a Miami 1st down.
Pass interference. Defense number 23. Automatic 1st down.
That's the rookie, Kevin Williams.
Well, Kevin Williams, the rookie, safety, coming across the field, down the bottom left. See the left hand, gets on the receiver. Gadsden cannot make the catch. He was in good position, didn't he? Didn't need to use that left hand, I should say, Greg.
Thought you were starting up a song there. First down from the 32. Out of the shotgun again. Marino has to get rid of it in a hurry. Complete. 35, 40. First down to Lamar Thomas.
Wow, good job by Dan Marino. The blitz, they got the screen to the outside to the wide receiver. Lamar Thomas just gets rid of it. And if you're home watching this game today, it's so tough for the Dolphins to get anything going. When they do complete passes, they're very short. And then as soon as the guys catch them, the Jet defenders are right there to make the tackle.
Clock continues to move. 8:20 to play, fourth quarter. First down, Dolphins their own 43. Marino over the middle, incomplete. Intended for O.J. McDuffie. Number 24, Ray Mickens, might have gotten a hand on it.
Well, Ray Mickens, this is the defender, number 24 for the Jets. They have really been working hard on him. I'm sorry, he's on the inside. To go underneath the receivers to make the play on the ball. That's a good play by him. Stays on the inside of O.J. McDuffie, gets his hand up and knocks it down.
2nd and 10. Blitz. Marino, rid of it in a hurry, and complete inside the 35-yard line. Oronde Gadsden with the reception, but what a delivery by Marino.
Well, here comes the pressure. You see it coming up front. Not even blocked. Chad Cascadden, not even blocked. Dan Marino sees it, gets rid of it, and a good catch on the outside by Gadsden. Kevin Williams.
Kevin Williams carries him out of bounds.
He's right there. Turn around, look for the ball. Could have knocked it down.
First down, Dolphins now at the 32. Bill Parcells is getting what he wants. Dan Marino is starting to play out of the shotgun and throw the football around. And now a timeout on the field stops the clock with 7:51 to play here in the fourth quarter. Back at the Meadowlands, 7:51 to play here in the fourth quarter, and the New York Jets with a 17-3 lead, but Dan Marino has Miami on the move. First down from the Jet 32. Marino has worked out of the shotgun exclusively on this drive. Has time. Down the field, incomplete. Intended for Lamar Thomas.
Miami playing it a little safe on offense. He keeps the tight end and a back end. But what that does, it enables him to get that extra time to throw the ball down the field, just looking for one of his receivers to separate from a defensive back.
The Dolphins 8-1, an NFL best after bye weeks. Going to have to go some to win this one. Has time, over the middle, incomplete. Ed Perry, the tight end, his intended receiver. And we come up to third down.
You know, Greg, over the last couple years, probably over the last 3, 4, 5 years, if you follow football in the Miami Dolphins, you've just noticed their passing game has been on a slow decline, just not replacing the great players they used to have outside, the tight ends. They used to have Eric Green, Duper Clayton, people like that. They just don't have the playmakers to go along with Dan Marino, who, of course, has aged right along with the offense.
Marino with time, over the middle, has his man Bernie Parmalee, 15, 10, and loses the football out of bounds. It will be Miami ball, first down.
Well, if your wide receivers can't get open down the field, let your running back go inside, work. Corbin Brown, number 44. Bernie Parmalee turns him around, separates. That is as wide open as I've seen a receiver for the Miami Dolphins all day long. Corbin Brown hustling, causes the fumble. Gets out of bounds, though, with the ball.
25-yard pickup, and it's now first down from the 12. And the first sign of life the Miami offense has shown all day long. Marino toward the corner. Incomplete. Almost intercepted. Intended for O.J. McDuffie. And back defending on the play was Ray Mickens.
Well, again, the new offense by Miami gives them time to throw. Watch O.J. McDuffie. Fakes the out cut, goes up. He's open. The ball's led up the field. It's going to be a touchdown. Dan Marino trying to anticipate the throw. Throws it behind O.J. McDuffie, and he can't come back and make the catch.
10th play of this drive. 2nd and 10. Incomplete. Charles Jordan had it and lost it. You know, you were talking about the receivers and how they've come and gone, and what has really hurt Jimmy Johnson and the Miami Dolphins has been 2 consecutive season-ending injuries to Yatil Green.
Well, that hurts. They were hoping Yatil Green would be their big play wide receiver, that speed guy that every team looks for. If nothing else, he can go down the field and create some spaces for another receiver to come underneath and make the catch.
Dan Marino calls timeout, stops the clock, 7:04 to play in the 4th on 3rd and 10 from the 12-yard line when we come back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Coca-Cola Classic and by Domino's.
Jet fans exhorting their defense here at 7:04 to play in the 3rd quarter. And the Dolphins looking at 3rd and 10 from the Jets' 12-yard line.
Well, the Dolphins, you got to think, and of course they know, you don't have to get it all in 1 down. They're going to go for it on 4th down if they don't get it here. So be smart. If somebody's open short, give it to him, and then make the 4th down situation a lot easier.
As you saw, the Dolphins 2 of 11 on 3rd down conversion attempts. Marino goes left after pumping right, and it's incomplete. Ed Perry, the intended receiver, and we look at 4th down. Number 88, Charles Jordan, trots onto the field.
Well, usually as I sit up here and watch these games, I can say, well, I think they'll do this, and then they'll throw to so-and-so. Today, I don't know. Who do you tell me on the offense has been getting open and making the plays?
Dolphins need to get to the 2-yard line for a 1st down. Marino over the middle. Parmalee met at the goal line. Didn't get in, but it is enough for a 1st down. Victor Green hit him at the goal line.
Well, Dan Marino found the guy. Get the wide receivers, clear them all out, and let Bernie Parmalee go inside and make the play. The wide receivers on each side go out. There's nobody in the middle of the field. Bernie Parmalee does a good job, makes a nice move inside, gets away from Corwin Brown, and picks up the 1st down.
Dolphins 1st and goal from the 1. Abdul-Jabbar may have lost a yard or 2. Clock continues to move towards the 6-minute mark.
Bill Belichick has done a good job, defensive coordinator for the Jets, mixing it up and really taking advantage of that week off they had last week. Got his defensive line back in order. They've done a good job against the running day and have created some pressure on Dan Marino when they've had to.
Marino gonna throw, wide open, touchdown. Troy Drayton, the tight end.
Probably the #1 passing play by offenses all around the league. Play action fake when you're down the goal line. The tight end goes from your right all the way across the field to the left, wide open. Here he comes. Look at Troy Drayton going across. Nobody covers him. Whoever had him on the right side, he sees the play action fake. They stop just for a second. He sneaks across.
For Dan Marino, his 4th touchdown pass of the season. Drayton's first, and the direct snap to Olindo Mare, and this is not going to go anywhere.
Well, Jimmy Johnson likes to pull those surprises on the special teams every once in a while. But this is really a tough call for Olindo Mare to take this snap direct right to him. The Jets, they're waiting. They got people up and outside. Good job of dodging one guy, but what about the rest?
So with 5:42 to play, the Jets lead is 17-9. And while we have a moment, we'll remind you about tomorrow when Doug's wife gets a handsome rich new boss. Can he keep from becoming a jealous mess? Kevin James stars with Jerry Stiller in the new hit comedy The King of Queens right after Cosby tomorrow at 8:30, 7:30 Central here on CBS. Reminded me of your style.
There's Bill Parcells, college buddy, teammates in college at Wichita State, Mike Westhoff, and yesterday he even said, Coach Parcells said to us yesterday talking, he always knows to be alert on special teams because Jimmy Johnson over his career has tried quite a few, little tricks, onside kicks, things like that to catch the other team off guard. And he even said, he goes, hey, I know my friend there.
And you look at the scores from around the league. How about Buffalo leading San Francisco 26-8? The kick to Leon Johnson, a yard inside the end zone. 25, and that's about it. Bernie Parmalee with the special teams tackle.
Greg, this time of the game, I always thought as an offensive player, and I think for coaches too, it's hard. What do? You come out, you don't want to really attack because you don't want something to go wrong. You're trying to eat up the clock. You can see Vinny Testaverde, 15 for 27, a solid game today, no big mistakes except the one fumble.
I would think as busy as Curtis Martin has been, he's going to get a little busier, although Testaverde going to go to the air, flips it forward. 35, 38-yard line. Curtis Martin on the left-handed pass from Vinny Testaverde.
Well, a lot of things went that time. Good play by Vinny Testaverde, just showing his size and strength. It really came through for him on that play. Able to, the defender has his right arm. Watch him as he steps up in the pocket. Has the ball in his left hand, flips it to Curtis Martin. Watch Kyle Brady. Here he comes. Going to get Zach Thomas. Boom. Zach Thomas goes flying on the ground.
Not the prettiest pass Vinny has ever thrown.
What a good one.
First down from the 38. Testaverde to throw again. Keith Byard, 45, midfield, 45-yard line of the Miami Dolphins. And another first down, and it keeps the clock moving. 15-yard pickup.
Basically the same play they ran on 4th down, where it was 4th and 1. They went for it. Same idea, catch the defense off guard. And now, no matter what you do, even if you don't get any more first downs and you punt, you're going to make the Miami Dolphins go a long way for another touchdown.
And here you think, well, now the Jets are going to use Curtis Martin, the reason that they got him, to run the football towards the end of the game. Testaverde drops back. He flips to Curtis Martin. He flips to Keith Byars, and they're across midfield.
Greg, you've been wrong too many times. So I don't know.
First down from the 45.
If you keep saying it, maybe they will.
Testaverde throws this one away as he's under the gun.
Boy, Bill Parcells is upset, and I know why he's upset. Kyle Brady was down the field wide open. Vinny Testaverde, though, played it safe instead of, because he didn't have time to really look down there and see him. So he does the smart thing and just throws it away. Bill Parcells, and well, here's what happens. Watch Kyle Brady. He's going to run down here like this. He is open, but watch the quarterback at the same time. Testaverde, it's a blitz. There he goes. He's open, but he doesn't have time to really lay it in there.
2nd and 10. Curtis Martin cuts back to about the 42 22-yard line. Pick up a 3.
Would you get gun shy? Were you afraid to predict it this time?
Well, you know, when you're wrong so many times, you just kind of back off. 99 yards rushing for Curtis Martin today. Martin came into this game off of a 144-yard performance against Indianapolis 2 weeks ago. Clock continues to move, coming up on 3.5 to play here in the 4th. 3rd and 7.
5 wide receivers by the Jets.
Slant complete. Leon Johnson, first down Jets.
This is one of the reasons why Coach Bill Parcells wanted to go with Vinny Testaverde today. He's big, he's strong. Watch what happens. He goes back, he looks at his first receiver, he's not open. He reshuffles, kind of going backwards, makes a good flip up the field, and Leon Johnson, the 5th wide receiver, way outside, beats Sam Madison to the inside and picks up a big first down.
We are under 3 minutes to play now. And the Jets first down at the Miami 27. Martin, right side, across the 25.
Well, they said, the Jets, the coaches, talking about their running game, they said, hey, you know, our running game, don't be misled. Just we did it one game. We think it's going to be strong. And Curtis Martin, going over 100 yards today, is showing that 2 games in a row against a good defense here today, they can get it done.
Jets have gone to the sideline, and they're going to let the clock wind down to the 2-minute warning. And when we come back, the Jets will be 2nd and 6 from the 23-yard line in prime position to add to their lead with 2 minutes to play. We'll take a moment here to tell you next Sunday the NFL on CBS has a big lineup of doubleheader games. In the big early game, Phil and I and Armen and the rest of our crack staff will be in New England. Derek Thomas and the Chiefs taking on Drew Bledsoe and the Patriots, and other regional action. And later, 2 old warriors with plenty left in the tank collide. John Elway and the Broncos, Warren Moon and the Seahawks. Check your local listings for these and other doubleheader games. It all begins with the hour-long NFL Today. Testaverde to throw. Has time to the far side. Byers across the 20, across the 15, to the 12-yard line, and another first down.
Well, the New York Jets, they might have discovered something today. Keith Byers has been a big part of the offense, leading the way on blocking plays for Curtis Martin, moving around, and then making the catches in tough situations. And once Keith Byers catches the ball, I mean, I don't know if he's a running back. He's big enough to be a tight end, and he runs like one because he gets moving down the field. He's tough to bring down.
6 catches, 72 yards for Keith Byers. First down from the 12. Curtis Martin. You know, Vinny Testaverde, who for the longest time has been known as a quarterback to throw the ball down the field. And over the weekend, you and I were talking about the changing philosophy in the NFL. He's dropped the ball off to his running backs today.
Well, it's a change in philosophy for him. I mean, Bill Parcells says he's kind of looked over the history of Vinny Testaverde. He's always been in offenses that threw it outside to the wide receivers, high risk, hard to do. But he says he can understand why teams do it because Testaverde can throw it so well down the field. But he's taught him, look for the tight end, throw it short to the backs. He's done a really good job today of dropping the ball off when there's nobody open down the field.
Now, you know, I know, Bill Parcells knows. He's going to get the question this week. Who's your starting quarterback next week, Vinny Testaverde or that man, Glenn Foley?
He's going to go in after the game today and he's going to say, hey, coach, good win. Who's going to start next week?
Right.
It's really how it's going to work. Glenn Foley, unfortunately for him, he got hurt. He's not 100%. He plays Vinny Testaverde, and of course we asked that question to Coach Parcells, and he said it's Glenn Foley's job, but if Vinny Testaverde outperforms him, you know, there's no rule. I don't go by the rule. If you get hurt, you don't lose your job. I play the guy that I think gives me the best chance to win, so I would not be surprised to see Vinny Testaverde the starting quarterback next week.
Miami's offense came in averaging 121 yards a game rushing. They have 32 yards rushing today. The defense was allowing 7.3 points a game. They have 17 on the board against them from the Jets, and they're threatening more. Curtis Martin, right side, out of bounds at about the 7-yard line. That stops the clock with just under a minute to play.
Well, if you want to run the football, you want to have success doing it, your wide receivers got to block. Watch Keyshawn Johnson coming down inside. Hey, Robert Jones has seen that enough. He's getting after him, but still, Keyshawn Johnson, that is an excellent job of sealing the inside down and letting Curtis Martin get to the outside.
For the 16th time in his career, Curtis Martin has gone over the 100-yard mark.
And you know, Greg, this Keyshawn Johnson, Coach Parcells said, hey, I'm going to send him down in there. You know, this guy's got a lot of pride. He takes pride in everything. He'll get down there and get his nose bloodied and block these guys. And, you know, he's about 6'3", 215 pounds, so it's not like he's sending in some small wide receiver.
You know, to get back to the Glenn Foley, Vinny Testaverde thing with Bill Parcells, he told us yesterday he's never been one who is big on a guy losing his job to injury, but he just looks at who performs the best.
Yeah, you know, I think that you can't lose your job to an injury. Was some coach started that because he was afraid to make the decision, so he came up with that new thing. But you know, you got to play the guy that gives you the best chance to win, and that he'll make the decision. And also the big thing is, will Glenn Foley be 100% and ready to play?
And will the coach apply the physical exam to Glenn Foley again? You know, we talked earlier about how he checked out Wayne Corbett's ankle by kicking him in the ankle.
Yeah.
He checked out Glenn Foley,
his ribs,
grabbing him around the ribs.
Yeah, he gave him the old squeeze test. He walked up behind him, gave him a big hug, and of course Glenn Foley doubled over in pain. He goes, yeah, see, I didn't think you were ready. Yeah, it's
3rd and 5 from the 7. Jets can get a first down. The fade pattern intended for Keyshawn Johnson, interfered with on his way to the end zone. That'll be a first down. And Terrell Buckley, you know, Terrell may have had a gripe with a call earlier, but he's got no gripe with this call.
Well, he shouldn't gripe for the call, and then he's going to get another call picking up the pylon in the back of the end zone and throwing it. I'm sure the officials saw it. It's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct.
Maybe Terrell goes by the theory, if you have something colorful thrown at you, you throw something colorful in return.
Well, it doesn't work that way in this league.
Well, T-Buck, as they call him, doesn't look real upset about it.
Well, he's played well today, but watch this. Here's why it's a penalty. Watch Terrell Buckley go in front of the receiver, hand checks him down, but now impedes the progress.
There were fouls by both teams on the play. Illegal formation by the offense, number 69, was uncovered on the end of the line. There was also offsides by the defense, lined up in the neutral zone. There was also pass interference by the defense, number 27. The penalty's offset, replay 3rd down.
Phil, I believe you and I are the only ones in the stadium who weren't committing a penalty on that last play.
That was a lot of action.
And 4 ticks of the clock disappeared. We're down to 55 seconds. And we'll replay 3rd down from the 7 with 5 yards to go for a first down.
Well, this has been an impressive drive by the New York Jets. You know, as they came out and took the field, I said, what a tough position for an offense to be in. They came right out. Hey, what got it going? The very first play, Testaverde getting away from the sack, flipping it with his left hand to Curtis Martin. That started things.
3rd and 5. Going to keep it on the ground this time and not get very much. Zach Thomas making the tackle, and the Dolphins call timeout and stop the clock with 51 seconds to play. That's Miami's last timeout. And we'll remind you to log on to www.nfl.com and check out this week's player spotlight on Vikings wide receivers Jake Reed and Chris Carter. And get team-by-team matchups on NFL.com. Got another guy up there in Minnesota by the name of Randy Moss, who's not too shabby.
Doing pretty well.
So John Hall will come on and try to apply a little icing to the cake with 51 seconds to play here in regulation. The Dolphins have won 7 of the previous 8 meetings against the New York Jets. Hall has made a 47-yarder, missed a 44-yarder, and this one is from 25 yards out. Shane Burton got a hand on his last field goal attempt and blocked it for Miami. This one clears the line, splits the uprights, and the Jets improve to a 20-9 lead.
Well, the Jets are going to do something today they could not do last year, and that's beat the Miami Dolphins. And I think that's something that's been working on the Jet football team and Bill Parcells. You know, there's a competition between him and Jimmy Johnson. They know that these two teams, that both of the teams could be fighting for playoff position late in the year. This was a big game for the New York Jets. To fall three games behind, you know, this early in the season is almost impossible to make up. So it's a big win for the New York Jets.
Miami Dolphins had allowed a total of 22 points in their first 3 games of the season. They've surrendered 20 here today, and Jimmy Johnson will lose his first game to the Jets as head coach of the Miami Dolphins.
Well, we talked about it. Some of the Dolphins' worries, hey, they came through today for them, and they were worried a little bit about their offense, their defense being tested. Although the defense played, you know, very well, the offense just had trouble, you know, sustaining drives, making things happen.
Dan Marino's numbers: 121 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. He was telling us yesterday, so many of these games against the Jets have been just flat-out shootouts.
Yeah.
Marching up and down the field. This has not been that kind of a day. Avery and Marion deep. Avery. 30. Penalty marker in the backfield. Penalty markers all over the field. Dolphins are going to be backed up.
Holding, receiving team number 57 during the return, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Penalty is on O.J. Brigant, number 57. See the rushing yardage today, and what a dramatic fall off for the Miami Dolphins.
You know why it's so surprising to me is that I watched the Miami Dolphins play the Pittsburgh, you know, Steelers. I saw, you know, Pittsburgh, they got a pretty good defense, wouldn't you agree?
You bet.
And Miami just ran it up in there and overpowered the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I kind of thought they'd do that today, and that the Jets would just somehow have to find a way to score some points and maybe take the Dolphins out of the running game. But really the defense, they did it all. Stopped the running game right from the start, never let it get on track.
Damon Heward, quarterbacking the Dolphins over these last 41 seconds, has his first pass completed. Now across the 30-yard line is Ed Perry. Miami with no way to stop the clock via the timeout. The clock continues to move at 25 seconds to play. Miami will fall to 3-1 and fall from the NFL's list of unbeaten. Heward to the far side. Bernie Parmalee out of bounds, just short of the 40-yard line. Pushed out by Ray Mickens, and the Jets, after an 0-2 start, including a heartbreaker of a loss in San Francisco in the season opener in overtime, will pull even at 2-2. And as Bill Parcells says, it's kind of like starting over. It isn't really, but it's kind of like starting over.
Well, it's pretty close. It's 2-2, 2-0 in the division. They're one game. Well, I don't know what New England did today. New England had one loss coming today, so they have a chance to. Now they're right back in the thick of things, and it gives them a little leeway if they make a mistake, lose later. It's not the end of the year.
You see what that performance against the Jets today has Dan Marino at the lowest output in his career against the New York Jets team. Heward going to cast off, and it's going to come down in the arms of a Jet, Victor Green. And then the lateral back to Otis Smith across midfield, and that'll do it. The New York Jets, strong on their home turf, knock off the Miami Dolphins by a score of 20-9. And Bill Parcells is, by and large, going to be a pretty happy coach.
Well, you saw a team. I think the Jets played with urgency. The Miami Dolphins didn't. That's why the Jets won.
So Keyshawn Johnson had a touchdown catch to his credit today. Vinny Testaverde with a good afternoon, and Dan Marino, maybe longing for the law of the old days.
Well, I think what's going to happen for the Miami Dolphins, they're going to go down to practice this week, and you reevaluate what you've done so far. You're 3-1. They know they got to spend some time on their passing game, but probably more importantly, they got to get back and make sure their running game is going to stay where it is, and this is not going to be, a common occurrence, not getting any rushing yards.
So Marino and his Dolphins will go back and try to solve some problems and try to get back to running the football again.
And of course, the New York Jets, they got to be happy with just about every phase of their football team. The defense, imaginative, energetic, played hard, made plays. In the offense, the quarterback played well. They did a good job getting receivers open when they needed those big plays, and just a good overall performance by the New York Jets.
Let's go down to Armen Keteyian. Armen.
Getting a very big win. Not only do you not go 1-3, but you go 2-0 in your own division.
Yeah, it's a very big win for us. We're 2-0. We're undefeated in our division. We're back to 500 football, and it's where we wanted to be after the day was over.
I know it's Parcells' call, but after 2 wins as quarterback, have you established yourself as a starting quarterback for the Jets?
Well, it is going to be Coach Parcells' call on that, and I just hope that I make his decision hard. I know we have 2 quarterbacks that can play and help this team win, and Glenn Foley and myself.
One of the things that Parcells told us, you didn't really, in your other places that you played, you didn't have a lot of guys who could catch the ball coming out of the backfield, tight ends and backs. You had Byers today. How big of a help is that to you?
Oh, that's a tremendous help for a quarterback to be able to have receivers that can catch it, get down the field with it, and backs out of the backfield that can catch it right out of the flat and turn it up for some big gains.
What about the pass to Keyshawn?
Well, we worked on it all week. We stayed extra in practice, and it paid off for us. But our defense played absolutely great for us today.
Thanks, Vinny. Greg, back to you.
Vinny Testaverde trying to figure out where he wanted to play in the postseason, decided the New York Jets was going to be the best place for him to be a winning quarterback. He showed his value to the New York Jets, not just last week, but today as well. For Phil Simms and Armen Keteyian, I'm Greg Gumbel. That's it from the Meadowlands. Once again, the Jets 20, the Miami Dolphins 9. Stay tuned. We'll be sending you across the river for the NFL Today post-game report right after these messages.
CBS Sports thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League.
All right, what a wild day this has been. Jim Nantz back with you in our NFL Today studios in New York. We have some teams that have finally found victory for the first time. All the scores and highlights coming your way. Of course, Marcus Allen, Brent Jones, and George Seifert are alongside. Brent, the theme of the day so far.
How about the winless teams getting on the board? Indianapolis, Chicago, and it looks like Buffalo against my old team, the 49ers. I keep telling George one of these days they're going to miss us.
Yeah, and today was that day, right?
I tell you what, I made a bad mistake in picking the Cowboys to win.
We weren't
Redskins to win.
Honestly, we were not going to bring
it up.
We were not going to bring that up at all. But the AFC East has beaten the NFC West. It looks like 2 for 2 today. The Buffalo game not quite final. Let's get to the scores. Here you go. Jets hand the Dolphins their first loss of the season. Dolphins had defeated the Jets 4 straight times. Miami's total offense just a mere 130 yards today.
We talked about the first team to 10 points could win this game. Dolphins never got there, Jim.
That was a good call. We're talking about the old shootouts in this rivalry. Didn't materialize like that. You said it'd be a low-scoring game. Murray gave the Dolphins a 3-0 lead. Curtis Martin, watch his effort here. Trying to get the first down. Little spin move, kept the drive alive, and the Jets took advantage, got on the board. It had been 7 quarters since the Dolphins defense had allowed anyone to score on them, and Keyshawn Johnson broke that streak in the second quarter.
That's right, Jim. A lot of trash talking going in the game, but great play by Bill Parcells. Spread the defense out, ran a draw play, surprised Miami.
Watch the hit of the day. Brian Cox on the block right there on Jerry Wilson. Ooh. Knocked them out of the game.
No ill feelings against his former team, the Dolphins there?
Oh, I don't think he took anything out on that shot. Do you? And Marino, his 68th career touchdown pass, trying to bring him back, and they missed on a 2-point try, oddly enough, and the Jets added a field goal, 20-9, the final there. Patriots in just an incredible game down in New Orleans, 30-27. Patriots win it with 3 seconds to go on a field goal. Last play of the half, Danny Wuerffel threw the touchdown, made it 17-14 at halftime. Now we pick it up third quarter. Danny Wuerffel, mistake here, and Henry Thomas bouncing around. Hey, put him in at fullback, Coach.
Looks like William Perry. That's, I'll tell you, Danny Wuerffel, though, despite that last play, he's playing pretty doggone good this year, and he's making this team pretty exciting.
All right, the touchdown by Lamar Smith, and watch the little punt here. Doug Bryan nails one. Now here's the, well, where are they going to call it?
Run. That's what I'd do. Take that ball and go.
Andre Hastings streaking all the way out of bounds at the Patriot 26. So the Saints in field goal range. And here's Doug Bryan. 36-yard field goal to tie the game with just under 2 minutes to go in regulation. But the Patriots on the move. Bledsoe to Brisby. They had hooked up on a touchdown pass in the first half. That gave them a first down at the 18. And then Adam Vinatieri for the game winner right there. 3 seconds to go. And the Saints suffer their first loss. And that's a hard loss indeed today as they fought back valiantly. But the Patriots increased their record to 3-1. Okay, San Francisco and Buffalo with 1:35 remaining in that game, and Wade Phillips looking for his first win as the head coach of the Bills. Came in as a huge underdog in this game. They have sacked Steve Young 5 times. The 49ers have committed 18 penalties, totaling 163 yards. We'll have more scores and highlights in a moment. A reminder, log on to CBS Sportsline for complete NFL coverage. Recap every game in the NFL archive, where you'll find top stories, stats, and photos for every week of the season. Plus, find out how your team is doing in the weekly power rankings and chat live with Arizona Cardinals quarterback Jake Plummer this Tuesday, 9 o'clock Eastern Time on CBS.Sportsline.com. All right, don't give up on the 49ers yet. They have scored with a minute to go. J.J. Stokes running free in the secondary at 21 yards in all covering. And the 49ers with an onside kick certainly to come with just a minute, 3 seconds remaining, and down 26-21. That was 23-0 at one time, Buffalo. Okay, here we go. Jim Mora and the Colts have won their first game. Mora's first win there at Indianapolis. And were they hungry for their first W up there in the capital city of Indiana? Ryan Leaf.
Ryan Leaf throws an interception, a little ill-advised pass to Alexander, kind of sets the tempo for the ball game. Here we come back with a heck of a play here. A great design, faking a reverse. Indianapolis fakes a reverse. We have a wide-open Marshall Faulk. Should have their eyes on Marshall Faulk. Now we're running the swinging gate for 2 points, and I think actually Indianapolis wins this game, coming out and getting an 8-0 lead right off the bat.
Actually got it up to 11-0 at one time, but Ryan Leaf came back. Yep, he was barking for it. Here's Charlie Jones. And Charlie Jones set up the Natron Means touchdown.
Natron Means had a heck of a game, went well over 100 yards, but all for naught with the first Indianapolis win. Chargers
missed on a 2-point try. Colts added a field goal to win it, 17-12. Cowboys blow out the Redskins, and Washington now 0-5 for the first time since 1981, even though, well, the Cowboys, in fact, today had 2 rushers over 100 yards, Emmitt Smith and Chris Warren. Lions and the Bears, oh my. Hey, the Bears came back from 17 down in the second half and win for the first time this season. And we'll continue. Scores and highlights, more to come on the NFL Today in just a moment. Carolina is still winless, 0-4. Falcons 3-1. Chandler 2 touchdown passes. Most points by Atlanta since 1973.
Carolina, an expensive team looking like an expansion team.
Arizona Cardinals have struck against the Raiders in the first quarter, and the Cardinals with Jake Plummer getting on the board right here.
Nice play action. This touchdown was set up by George, interception to McWilliams. Got up to a good start. The Raiders can't turn the ball over. when they're on the road.
A pair of 2-2 teams clashing there at Sun Devil Stadium. Philadelphia and Denver. And John Elway did not start. Again, it's Bubby Brister and Terrell Davis on the opening series. A 20-yard touchdown run, and the Broncos up a quick 7. Giants playing down at Tampa, and the Bucs have scored, returning a Danny Cannell pass, intercepting it, and running it back for a touchdown. Okay, it's now final. How about this? Buffalo winless on the year, coming in against undefeated San Francisco, and they beat them. And again, the AFC East today, 2-0 against the NFC West. The Bills win, and the Patriots over the Saints. We'll be right back. All right, Greg Davis, a former Cardinal kicker, with a 52-yard field goal for the Raiders. 7-3 Cardinals, 3 minutes to go, first quarter. So we've had 3 teams post their first win today. The Colts, the Bears, and the Bills, and the winless teams are all in the NFC now. Carolina, Washington, and the Eagles, all without a win at this point.
How about Buffalo Bills? Wade Phillips, what a great win for him. I felt the only way that the 49ers would lose that game if there was a blizzard or Bruce Smith had a great game. Well, Bruce Smith had a great game. There was no blizzard.
Hey, how about Carolina and Washington? Spent over $125 million combined on defense. 0 wins, 0 defense. Who says defense wins games?
Well, the Jets are right back in the thick of things, but who would have thunk that the Saints are better offense than the Miami Dolphins?
Well, you know what? The Saints now find themselves with the 49ers and Falcons in a 3-way tie in the NFC West. All right, fellas, tonight on CBS, it's 60 Minutes, followed by Touched by an Angel, and then the CBS Sunday movie about Sarah. Now, next Saturday, we're back on the air with more NASDAQ college football, beginning with college football today at 3 p.m. Eastern, followed by regional action featuring either third-ranked Tennessee against number 12 Georgia. Georgia will move up off that ranking. Or 9th-ranked Florida State against Miami. Then next Sunday, back here, NFL action starting at noon Eastern with the NFL Today, and then a full day of doubleheader action featuring the Chiefs and the Patriots among our early games, and Denver-Seattle in our doubleheader action. Until then, thanks for joining us, and have a good afternoon, everyone. So long for now.